Chapter 3201. The previous method definitely wouldn't work. Not to mention the fact that Lu Jinghan must have changed the key and the password to the secret room. Even if she could get in, the server might not be placed in Lu's office, so this method definitely wouldn't work. If this didn't work, then what should he do? Kang Mingming also had a headache. Although he had a lot of ideas, Lu's group was obviously prepared for this matter. If they weren't prepared, they wouldn't have introduced this kind of peripheral, so Kang Mingming had almost no chance to take advantage of it. After hanging up the phone, Kang Mingming found the Xianqian ancestor and told him what Dr. Benjamin Tu said. The Xianqian ancestor's face also became extremely ugly. He didn't expect Lin Yi to make such a quick response. It seems that this Lin Yi has a lot of connections. He can actually contact the world's top hacker to make a server for him. We underestimated him. The Xianqian ancestor frowned. Then what do we do now, father-in-law? Kang Mingming said worriedly, it's just that Lin Yi is a powerless solo cultivator. How did he find these people? We can cooperate with Dr. Benjamin Tu, and Lin Yi can also cooperate with others. These are not problems. The Xianqian ancestor sighed and said, the important thing is that we must come up with a countermeasure now. The previous method won't work, but I think you can still start with Lu Tianli. Start with Lu Tianli? How is that possible? Kang Mingming said, Lu Tianli can't open the door to Lu Jing'an's office now, and it's useless even if he did. The server might not be stored in the company. We can't find it at all. What I mean is, you kidnap Lu Tianli and then force Lu Jinghan to hand over the source code of the server. The Xianqian ancestor said, I believe you're familiar with the kidnapping method? You've used this method many times. Didn't you kidnap Guan Xian to force Lin Yi to hand over the recipe? This is true. Kang Mingming's eyes suddenly lit up after listening. However, can Lu Jinghan give in? Don't let me kidnap the girl, and she'll give up. After all, this stuff belongs to Lin Yi. If Lin Yi doesn't agree, we won't get the program even if Tianli dies. Whether it works or not, it's still possible to give it a try. Patriarch Xianqian said, this is the only solution I can think of at the moment. Try it first. If it doesn't work, we'll think of something else. Alright, then I'll go tie him up now. Kang Mingming nodded. But, father-in-law, you have to help me send some ruthless people this time. That Lin Yi can even kill a Sky-class late-phase peak in a second. If Lin Yi finds out about us, I'll definitely die. You don't want little 11 to be a widow at such a young age, do you? I'll let little Yi go with you. After you kidnap Lu Tianli, don't make a sound. Just bring him to 5 Elements Sect. No matter how strong Lin Yi is, he won't dare to barge into 5 Elements Sect alone. At that time, he'll either give up on Lu Tianli or submit. The Xianqian ancestor said. But based on my analysis, with how much Lin Yi cares for his brothers, he'll most likely agree to your request. That's true. Lin Yi actually started a feud with House Kang for that idiot Kang Xiaobo. I think Lin Yi is about the same now. Kang Mingming listened to the Xianqian ancestor's analysis and became interested. Alright, I'll go get little Yi to go with you. The Xianqian ancestor contacted little Yi and asked him to go with Kang Mingming. Lu Tianli's power was taken away, but he was still staying in the sanatorium. No matter what, he was still Lu Jing'an's father. Even if Lu Jinghan was angry, she couldn't do anything to him. So all he had to do was take away all his power in the company and let him spend the rest of his life in the sanatorium. But even without any punishment, Lu Tianli's life wasn't easy. He had tasted the benefits of drugs once again, but Lu Jinghan cut it off after a few days, and those cigarettes were confiscated as well. So Lu Tianli's days were as long as a year. But Lu Tianli didn't have a choice. He was restricted from contacting the outside world. He had no phone, no landline, only a walkie-talkie to talk to the guards outside. He didn't have to worry about food or clothing anymore. Whatever he wanted to eat, whatever he wanted to buy, he just had to call for it and someone would send it over. There were cigarettes too, but none with drugs in them. After getting used to the smell of drugs, other cigarettes didn't smell anymore. Man, what bad luck. If there are more cigarettes, I'll have to dig a hole to bury them. I can't let Jing Jing find out. Lu Tianli mumbled. However, just as he was grumbling, a familiar figure appeared in front of him in the next moment, causing him to be shocked. You are. You are Kong Mingming? Lu Tianli immediately recognized the person in front of him. It was Kong Mingming who gave him the cigarettes. Of course, although he hated Kong Mingming for taking advantage of him, he couldn't do anything about it. Who asked him to like drugs? Mr. Lu, we meet again. Little E stood beside Kong Xiaoming, but he didn't say anything. Kong Xiaoming was the main battlefield here, and he was just a foil. Regarding Kong Xiaoming replacing his position as Ancestor Xuanqin's son-in-law, Little E was both helpless and relaxed. Little 11 had become like that. To be honest, he didn't want him anymore, but becoming Ancestor Xuanqin's son-in-law represented a supreme position. Now, in the Five Elements sect, Kong Mingming's position had already surpassed Little E, and he was always by the side of the Xianqin elder. Of course, this was how things were. There were gains and losses, so Little E couldn't do anything about it. Kong Mingming, what are you doing here again? Lu Tianli frowned, but a hint of desire flashed in his eyes. Kong Mingming, did you bring me cigarettes? You want cigarettes? Sure, I'll bring you to a place. You have to act with me, and I'll provide you with cigarettes. I'll give you as many as you want. Kong Mingming said. Really? Lu Tianli's eyes lit up immediately when he heard cigarettes. Of course, why would I lie to you? Kong Mingming said faintly. Do you think I have the time to talk to you about these things? That's true. Lu Tianli nodded. Tell me, what do you need me to do? Chapter 3202. Are you for real? There's such a good thing? Tianli didn't really believe that there was such a good thing. After all, he didn't even have to do anything, and all he had to do was give him drugs. Was there something wrong with Kong Mingming's head? You just need to cooperate with us. You don't have to care about what we want to do. Just tell us if you agree or not. In fact, Kong Mingming could have taken Tianli away by force, but he was afraid of alerting the people outside and drawing Lin Yi over. That was why he decided to trick Tianli away. You guys want to kidnap me and use Jing Jing as a hostage, right? Tianli wasn't stupid. He used to be a big shot in the business world, and so he understood what Kong Mingming was thinking after a moment of silence. After all, Kong Xiaoming was the one who brought him to steal Lu Jing'an's company secrets, and now it seemed like stealing wasn't going to work. That was why he thought of kidnapping Lu Tianli, but this kidnapping was a lure, not a forceful one. Smart. Kong Mingming nodded. Mr. Lu is a straightforward man. Since you already know, are you going to cooperate or not? If I say no, you'll still kidnap me, right? Tianli looked at Little E beside Kong Mingming. The one beside you is a master, isn't he? Even if I don't go, you'll force me to go. You're just afraid of alerting the enemy, aren't you? Since you've guessed it, then I'll cut to the chase. Kong Mingming nodded. Come with us. All right. Tianli sighed. He felt really guilty and sorry for Lu Jinghan, but the temptation of the drugs made his legs stand up involuntarily. He had lost himself after taking the drugs, and the temptation was greater than anything else. With Tianli's cooperation, Kong Xiaoming and Little E brought Tianli out of the villa and the sanatorium without alerting the guards, disappearing into the night. Kong Mingming brought Lu Tianli back to Five Elements sect that very night. Only in Five Elements sect could Kong Mingming feel safe. Last time when Lin Yi came looking for him, Kong Ming was scared half to death. If it wasn't for the masters from House Yu, he would have died. This time, after arriving at the Five Elements sect, he dialed Lu Jing'an's number. Jing'an's phone number wasn't a secret, he just had to ask Tianli to find out. In the middle of the night, Lu Jinghan was sitting on the bed, holding a tablet to design something. Suddenly, the phone rang. Lu Jinghan picked up the phone and looked at it. It was a strange number. She thought it was a wrong number or a harassing call, but she didn't expect the phone to ring non-stop, so Lu Jinghan picked it up. "Hello, I'm Jinghan," Jinghan said as she picked up the phone. "Hello, Miss Lu. Allow me to introduce myself, my name is Kang Mingming. I believe you've heard of me for a long time now, haven't you?" Kang Mingming laughed shamelessly. "Ha ha ha ha. Kang Mingming? What's the matter?" Jinghan frowned. Naturally, she knew what kind of person Kang Mingming was. He was the one who caused all the trouble, but Jinghan didn't have a way to take revenge. "Miss Lu, your father likes to take drugs. Why don't you let him do it?" Kang Mingming said. "You called me just to say this?" Jinghan asked curiously, "What do you want to do?" "Nothing much. I just want to tell you that your father is a drug addict. He's doing it beside me right now. He's having a good time, but if he overdoses, he'll die." Kang Xiaoming said indifferently. "That's right. What do you want to do?" Jinghan's voice was a little angry. "Kang Mingming, what did you do to my father? Why is he at your place?" "Of course, I invited him as a guest, but it seems that he likes it here very much." Kang Mingming smiled. "Miss Lu, I suggest that you buy a coffin now, and then collect his body. He'll probably die in 3 to 5 days." "Kang Mingming, what do you want to do? Just say it. You don't have to say these useless things." Lu Jinghan said coldly. She was actually very angry in her heart. "My father is really too much. Kang Mingming obviously wants to harm me, but he still wants to take drugs. Of course, people who take drugs can't think with common sense. It's also reasonable that they can't resist the temptation of drugs." "Good, straightforward. Lu Jinghan, I won't waste time with you. How about this, you send me all the information about the first-grade cauldron's peripherals and the server's program. Also, give me the content for the next step of upgrading and I'll consider letting your father go back. Otherwise, I'll treat him well and let him take drugs here until he bursts out," Xiaoming said. Lu Jinghan was enraged by Kang Mingming's words, but she couldn't do anything. She could only sigh and say, "I can't decide these things. I have to ask Lin Yi, do whatever you want, but you have to hurry. Otherwise, when your father dies, don't blame me for not reminding you." Kang Mingming said. "Okay, I will contact you as soon as possible." Although Lu Jinghan was angry, she still agreed. After all, this was her father. She couldn't ignore it. In that case, I will wait for Miss Lu's good news," Kang Mingming said. Although it was late at night, after Lu Jinghan hung up the phone, she quickly dialed Lin Yi's number. Lin Yi was practicing when the phone rang. He glanced at it and saw that it was Lu Jinghan's number, so Lin Yi picked it up directly. "Jinghan, why did you call me in the middle of the night? What happened?" Lin Yi asked. "Lin Yi bro, my father was kidnapped by Kang Mingming. He wants to use this as a threat to force me to hand over the manufacturing data of the first-class cauldron and the source code of the server," Lu Jinghan said. "What?" Lin Yi frowned. Why was there a problem with Lu Tianli again? Why was this Lu Tianli always causing problems? However, for the sake of his face, Lin Yi asked patiently, "What happened? Tell me in detail, when did this happen?" "Just now." Lu Jinghan didn't hide anything and told Lin Yi everything that happened, including what Kang Mingming said on the phone. Chapter 3203. It should be. "But Lin Yi bro, you know that people who take drugs aren't normal. He can't control his thoughts," Lu Jinghan explained for Tianli. Since he likes taking drugs so much, then let him do it at Kang Mingming's place. Don't let him come back." Lin Yi humphed coldly, "Who knows, he might not be happy even if you let him come back." This Lu Jing'an's heart sank. From Lin Yi's tone, it seemed like he wasn't going to care about Tianli's matter anymore. This made her anxious. Lin Yi bro. No matter what. He's my father, Lu Jinghan. I've already given you a lot of face. Who do you think you are? Lin Yi said impatiently, as the saying goes, you can do it twice, but not thrice. The first time, he almost destroyed the company because of drugs, and I let him go. The second time, he brought Kang Mingming to steal the company's secrets, and I let him go as well. The third time, he willingly followed Kang Mingming to take drugs. What else can I do? But Lu Jinghan still wanted to say something, but Lin Yi rejected her coldly. Okay, that's it. Don't disturb my training. Lin Yi said coldly, don't take Jing Jing's tolerance for granted. She spent a lot of effort to invent these things. Lu Jinghan wanted to say something, but Lin Yi had already hung up. Lu Jinghan quickly called again, but Lin Yi quickly hung up. Evidently, Lin Yi was really angry and didn't want to pick up Lu Jing'an's call anymore. Sigh. Lu Jinghan sighed faintly. She closed the tablet and put it in her backpack. She put on her jacket and quickly went downstairs to the garage of the villa. In the garage, there were 2 white BMW X5M parked quietly. Lu Jinghan used the remote control to open the door of one of the BMWs, but after some hesitation, she took out the other remote control from her backpack and opened the door of the other BMW. After getting in, she plugged in the remote control and started the car. She quickly drove out of the garage and onto the highway to Donghai City. At 4 in the morning, Lu Jing'an's BMW stopped in front of Lin Yi's villa. Lu Jinghan dragged her tired body out of the car and went to Lin Yi's villa. She didn't ring the doorbell, but sent a message to Lin Yi. I'm at the door of your villa, Jing Jing. Lu Jinghan waited quietly for Lin Yi after sending the message. Lin Yi was cultivating when he heard the notification of a message on his phone. He saw the message from Lu Jinghan. He didn't expect Lu Jinghan to be at the door of his villa. Originally, Lin Yi didn't want to see Lu Jinghan. Even if she was waiting at the door of the villa, Lin Yi didn't have any sympathy. However, when Lin Yi saw the signature of the message, he couldn't help but frown. He didn't like the nickname Jing Jing. After all, this name represented Han Jingjing in Lin Yi's heart, and Lin Yi only recognized Han Jingjing as Jing Jing. However, when he saw Jing Jing, Lin Yi thought of Han Jingjing. He thought of Han Jingjing pleading for Lu Jinghan again and again. This made Lin Yi's heart soften. He decided to see Lu Jinghan for Han Jingjing, but not to let Lu Tianli go, but to make her give up. Lin Yi put down his phone and left the room. He opened the door of the villa and saw Lu Jinghan standing outside the iron gate with a haggard face. Lin Yi walked over and opened the iron gate. Lu Jinghan walked in quietly and locked the car with the remote control. However, there was no sound when the car was locked, so Lin Yi didn't notice Lu Jing'an's car, which made Lu Jinghan a little disappointed. After entering the villa, Lin Yi said, "Let's talk in my room. They're all sleeping upstairs, don't disturb them." With that, Lin Yi walked in front, and Lu Jinghan followed behind. The two entered the room one after the other. After entering the room, Lin Yi signaled for Lu Jinghan to lock the door. Lu Jinghan, even if you came here in the middle of the night, I'll still say the same thing. Lu Tianli has crossed the line, I can't let him do it again and again. Lin Yi bro, can you forgive him this time? Can it be the last time? After all, he's my father. Lu Jing'an's voice was trembling. Everyone has to be responsible for what they do. Lin Yi said faintly. He's ruined the company's business again and again, there's no need for me to keep him. Actually, if it wasn't for Jing Jing pleading for your house Lu, there would be no need for House Lu to exist after what Lu Tianli did the first time. The second time, it was the same. Jing Jing pleaded for House Lu, and I didn't say anything else. But you have to remember, Jing Jing might be doing this because she's your best friend, but this isn't what she should do. She used her own blood, sweat, and tears to exchange for Lu Tianli's safety. Jing Jing. Is she very important in your heart? Lu Jinghan asked faintly. It's important. Very important. Lin Yi nodded. Since you're her best friend, then you should know some things about her. Without her, all my businesses would be destroyed. Plus, she's helped me a lot in other areas as well. This is also why I won't let Lu Tianli go this time. Do you know how many days and nights Jing Jing didn't sleep when she invented these things? I know. Lu Jinghan said with a complicated expression. You know? And you're still pleading for Lu Tianli? Lin Yi frowned. Lin Yi bro, please forgive my father this one time. Jing Jing will research a lot of good stuff in the future to repay you, Lin Yi bro. A very familiar voice rang out all of a sudden, giving Lin Yi a slight shock. It was Han Jingjing's voice. Jing Jing? When did you come? Lin Yi asked subconsciously, but then he realized that something was wrong. After all, Lin Yi was a sky-class early-phase master now. There was no way he wouldn't notice someone entering the room, and Han Jingjing was talking about her father. Lin Yi raised his head to look at Lu Jinghan, his eyes filled with disbelief. There was no one else in the room other than Lu Jinghan. Chapter 3204. You're Han Jingjing? Lin Yi was sure that the owner of this familiar voice was Han Jingjing. Yeah. Han Jingjing nodded. I'm so sleepy, Lin Yi bro, I've been studying the second-class cauldron these days. As for the first-class cauldron, if Kang Ming wants it, I'll just give it to him, okay? As long as you say it's okay. Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry after the shock. You're Han Jingjing? Then why are you asking me? You invented all these things, you can give it to whoever you want, you don't need to ask me at all. Jingjing, I'm sorry, I wasn't nice to you before. It's okay, who asked me to lie to Lin Yi bro? Han Jingjing rubbed her eyes. I'm so sleepy, I'll take a nap first. Lin Yi bro, I'll leave my dad's matter to you. Also, can you help me park the car outside in the garage? It's blocking the road there. With that, Han Jingjing closed her eyes on Lin Yi's bed. Lin Yi looked at the exhausted Han Jingjing, and his heart ached. Han Jingjing was the one who helped him without asking for anything in return, and now she still had to ask him when something happened to Tianli. It really made Lin Yi feel sorry for her. Lin Yi pulled the blanket over Han Jingjing. He had a lot of questions, but he had to wait for Han Jingjing to wake up first. Lin Yi took Han Jingjing's BMW keys and walked out of the villa. This time, when Lin Yi's eyes landed on the BMW's license plate, he froze. This license plate was actually Han Jingjing's license plate, and not the license plate of the car that Lu Jinghan used to drive. Both cars were white BMW X5M, but the license plate was different, and Lin Yi didn't notice it before because he was annoyed. Now it seemed that Lu Jinghan came back this time with the intention of having a showdown with him. Otherwise, she wouldn't have driven the car that belonged to Han Jingjing. Lin Yi got in the car and drove it to the parking lot in the yard. Then, he dialed Kang Ming's phone number. Oh. Isn't this Mr. Lin Yi? Mr. Lin Yi, why do you have the time to call a small fry like me? Kang Ming received a call from Lin Yi. He was very excited. It seemed that Lin Yi was going to compromise. Kang Ming, cut the crap. I can give you the things, but when are you going to release him? Lin Yi was not in the mood to argue with Kang Ming, so he asked directly. Mr. Lin Yi, if you give me the things, I will naturally release him, said Kang Ming. I can give you the information of the peripherals and the source code of the server, but I haven't designed the new version of the upgrade program and plan. I don't have it even if you want it. Lin Yi naturally couldn't give the information of Han Jingjing's second-grade medicinal cauldron to Kang Ming. Well, these are fine too. Kang Ming actually didn't expect to get the upgrade information before. After all, it was good enough to get these. Okay, I'll send these things to your email. I have your email address, is it the same one from last time? Lin Yi asked. Okay, I'll send them to your email. Yes, after you sent it, I read it. If it's true, I will release him, said Kong Ming. You'd better do what you say. Otherwise, you know my character. Your Kong family is in the secular world. If you want the Kong family to die, play some tricks. Lin Yi said faintly. Of course, Lin Yi's threat could work. If Lin Yi really kidnapped the Kong family to exchange with Kong Ming might not agree to the exchange. He could sacrifice his brother's wife for his own benefit. Why couldn't he sacrifice the entire Kong family? Kong Ming was a cold person, so ordinary methods couldn't be used to deal with him. Don't worry, Mr. Lin Yi. My reputation is still good, said Kong Ming. Oh, in that case, when can you give me my gathering chi pills? Are you going to renege on the debt? Asked Lin Yi. This. Of course not. Kong Ming didn't expect Lin Yi to mention this again. If he didn't mention it, he would have forgotten about it. That. You also know that the gathering chi pill is relatively difficult to refine. It's not that easy to refine, so you have to wait. Don't worry, really? I saw that you refined so many first-grade elixirs, and it was quite smooth. Why can't you do it when it comes to the gathering chi pill? You aren't brushing me off, are you? Said Lin Yi. First-grade elixirs are very simple. The gathering chi pill is a third-grade elixir. It's more complicated, said Kong Ming. Oh, a first-grade automatic medicine cauldron is also quite complicated. You also made a copy. I don't think you take it seriously at all, right? Asked Lin Yi. Ahem. How is that possible? Don't worry, it will be over soon. Said Kong Ming quickly. Alright, I hope you hurry up. Otherwise, I won't be so easy to talk to next time. Lin Yi said. You can kidnap Lu Tianli, I can kidnap Kong Suepu and Kong Laikai too. Do as you see fit. Don't worry, I'll hurry up. Kong Ming said. After hanging up, Lin Yi called Little Jiao and asked her to send the server program and peripherals information to Kong Ming's email. On Kong Ming's end, he really did let Lu Tianli go after receiving these things. It was a waste of food to keep Lu Tianli here. It was better to send him away as soon as possible. If he died from overdosing, Lin Yi might really vent his anger on House Kong. So Kong Ming wasn't going to take responsibility for this. Just find a disciple to send Lu Tianli back. You don't have to show your face. Xianchen ancestor said. Right, is there any problem with the information? There's no problem with the information. Professor Benjamin too looked through it. We can release this new peripherals in a short period of time. Kong Ming explained. We need to get it on the market as soon as possible. Otherwise, we won't be able to recoup our investment. Xianchen ancestor nodded. The cost of their first-grade cauldron was different from Lin Yi's. Their cauldron was a real cauldron, while Lin Yi's was a titanium alloy replacement. So the cost of the Xianchen ancestors was higher. If these things couldn't be sold, then it would be a huge loss. Alright, I will urge Professor Benjamin too to hurry up and release the upgraded product. Kong Ming nodded. That's good. Xianchen ancestor nodded. Chapter 3205. Qi gathering pill, then prepare to refine it. It is said that Lin Yi can now instantly kill a master with the strength of the peak late stage of heaven stage. There is no precedent of killing a master at the great perfection, but we have to be on guard. Lin Yi's growth has become our biggest hidden danger, so it is a good thing that we can use the Qi gathering pill to kill this kid. Ancestor Xianchen said. Yes, but the extreme Qi gathering pill is not easy to refine. I have been wasting too much energy recently, and I don't have time to study alchemy, Kong Ming said. Let's refine it slowly. Anyway, this thing can directly eat Lin Yi to death, so we don't have to worry about it. It's just that the business of this medicinal cauldron is relatively good now. If Lin Yi is dead, we have no one to imitate, so don't refine it too quickly. When his side is almost done with the upgrade, then we will kill him. Without the support of Lin Yi, the Lu group has nothing to fear. We can directly rob it. Ancestor Xianchen said. That's true, then I will go and study it. Kang Mingming nodded and said. After Lin Yi finished all this, he returned to the room. Han Jingjing slept for a while and woke up. Looking at Han Jingjing, who looked like Lu Jinghan in front of him, Lin Yi didn't know what to call her. Jingjing, are you Lu Jinghan or Han Jingjing? Lin Yi looked at Lu Jinghan with sleepy eyes and a very cute and innocent face. It was difficult to connect her with the smart and capable business genius girl. Both, Lu Jing'an's nickname is also Jingjing. Jingjing has hinted to you, but brother Lin Yi didn't think in that direction. Han Jingjing said, and the car I drive, Han Jingjing and Lu Jing'an's car are exactly the same, and brother Lin Yi wasn't curious. To be honest, I was really curious, and I thought that the two of you were the same person, but your appearances are too different. Your voice is different too. Oh right, how did you change your voice? Lin Yi asked curiously. It's easy to change the voice. Don't forget that Jing Jing could even invent a first-grade automatic medicine cauldron. How difficult would it be to invent a voice changer? Han Jingjing said matter-of-factly, as for my appearance. I'm actually wearing 1,000 silk mask. As Han Jingjing spoke, she wiped her face. Lu Jing'an's face turned into Han Jingjing's face. Looking at the familiar face in front of him, Lin Yi sighed. She's more pleasing to the eye this way. Although Lu Jinghan is also a beauty, I still think Jing Jing is more beautiful. Anyway, it's all the same. Han Jingjing didn't care. Big brother Lin Yi likes Jingjing however he likes it. Just stay quiet and be like this. Jing Jing, are you purposely acting cute in front of me? Lu Jinghan isn't like you. Lin Yi listened to Han Jingjing's voice and couldn't help but smile. Lu Jinghan is faking it. Han Jingjing shook her head. Actually, this is Jing Jing's original character. Jing Jing doesn't like to do business. Jing Jing still likes to study science and technology. Okay, but your alchemist's strength level should always be there, right? Why didn't I notice it? Asked Lin Yi. In fact, Jing Jing has never hidden the strength level of a cultivator under the state of Lu Jinghan. But it seems that big brother Lin Yi didn't think about it in this direction, right? Han Jingjing said curiously, however, Jing Jing didn't deliberately show it. Maybe big brother Lin Yi overlooked it. That should be it. Lin Yi really didn't think about it in this direction before. The Lu family wasn't a cultivator family. In Lin Yi's impression, there were no cultivators in their family, and Lin Yi didn't have a good impression of Lu Jinghan at the beginning, so thinking about it now. Perhaps Lin Yi had overlooked this point. However, what puzzled Lin Yi the most was also a question that he couldn't figure out. Jing Jing, why did you lie to me? Why did you appear by my side as Han Jingjing? Of course, I'm not saying that Jing Jing has ulterior motives. After all, what you did for me was free. You helped me study alchemy and helped me study the first-grade automatic medicine cauldron. You didn't ask for anything in return, but you could have used Lu Jing'an's identity to see me. Actually, Jing Jing's teacher asked Jing Jing to hide her identity and help Lin Yi in secret. Since Han Jingjing had revealed her identity, she might as well be honest with Lin Yi. This was also permitted by her teacher. If it was a last resort, she could confess the truth to Lin Yi. Your teacher? Lin Yi was slightly taken aback. He didn't expect Han Jingjing to have a teacher. A teacher who could teach such an amazing disciple like Han Jingjing definitely wasn't an ordinary person. He was probably a very impressive scientist. Yes, my teacher is called Sun Sikong. He's a very impressive scientist. Jing Jing has been secretly learning from him since she was young, but I've only learned a little bit. Jing Jing isn't as smart as my teacher. If Brother Lin Yi were to learn from me, you would definitely surpass my teacher, Han Jingjing said. Pfft. When Lin Yi heard Han Jingjing's words, he immediately choked and laughed dryly. Jing Jing, you think too highly of me. After I found out that you are Lu Jinghan, I'm not used to you acting cute like this. After hearing Lin Yi's words, Han Jingjing's expression suddenly became a little gloomy. Jing Jing isn't acting cute. This is what Jing Jing's teacher said. Jing Jing said that Brother Lin Yi is the most impressive person and asked Jing Jing to assist Brother Lin Yi well. In the future, we will do something big together. Moreover, Jing Jing also said that Lu Jinghan is Jing Jing's act. The current Jing Jing is the real Jing Jing. Your teacher knows me? Lin Yi saw that Han Jingjing was speaking in all seriousness, so he didn't harp on this matter. Instead, he asked with a strange tone. Actually, it should be said that my teacher knows your teacher. The two of them have quite a relationship, Han Jingjing said. Oh. He knows my teacher. Then does he know where my teacher went? Lin Yi was a little shocked as he hurriedly asked. He knows, but Jing Jing doesn't know. Han Jingjing shook her head. Teacher didn't tell Jing Jing. Moreover, Jing Jing hasn't seen teacher for many years. He only told Jing Jing that he, Brother Lin Yi's teacher, and some other people are going to do something big together. He told Jing Jing not to worry and to study at home with a peace of mind. When her studies are successful, she will prepare to help Brother Lin Yi. Chapter 3206. My teacher has a good friend who seems to be a fortune-telling Taoist. He told me that I will meet Lin Yi brother in the future at a suitable opportunity. Only after meeting Lin Yi brother would I be able to help Lin Yi brother. He didn't allow me to look for Lin Yi brother before. Han Jingjing said, and Jing Jing's teacher also acquiesced to the Taoist's words, so Jing Jing only came here after meeting Lin Yi brother. I see. Lin Yi nodded, believing Han Jingjing's words. And now, Lin Yi had basically guessed who the Taoist was. It was Imo Kongwen, whom he had met before. Yes, Lin Yi brother, you won't blame Jing Jing for hiding it from you, right? Han Jingjing said apologetically. Of course not. Lin Yi shook his head and smiled bitterly, since it's my teacher's order, and your teacher knows my teacher, why would I blame you? That's good. Han Jingjing patted her chest and sighed in relief. Actually, Jing Jing has always been worried that one day, Lin Yi brother will know Jing Jing's identity and ignore Jing Jing. Jing Jing is so worried. How is that possible? Lin Yi smiled comfortingly. Jing Jing, whether you are Lu Jinghan or not, whether you have another identity or not, you are the Han Jingjing I like. Don't use Lu Jinghan's face anymore. Oh, okay. I was thinking that Lin Yi brother would get sick of me and change my face. Han Jingjing said. How could he get sick of me? Lin Yi shook his head. Okay, don't think too much. Sleep well at home. Lu Tianli. You don't have to worry about Uncle Lu. When he comes back, I will help him get rid of the drug addiction in his body and let him return to normal as soon as possible. Ah. Really? That's great. Han Jingjing was very happy when she heard that. Big brother Lin Yi, you treat Jingjing so well. Actually, no matter what, he is Jingjing's father. That's why Jingjing pleads for him time and time again. I know what you're thinking. You don't have to say anything, Jing Jing. If I knew he was your father, I would have helped him get rid of his drug addiction a long time ago. I wouldn't have waited until now. Lin Yi said, what's more, you don't need to discuss with me what you promised Kang Mingming. You can give your invention to anyone. Yes. By the way, did my father come back safely? Han Jingjing suddenly thought of Kang Mingming. Would he break his promise? Not yet, but it will be soon. Kang Mingming doesn't dare to play tricks. He doesn't need to risk the whole Kang family's destruction for a person who is insignificant to him. Lin Yi said, I have already warned him. That's good. Han Jingjing nodded. She knew that Lin Yi cared a lot about Lu Tianli. When Uncle Lu comes back, I will help him get rid of his drug addiction and let him take charge of the company again. Now that House Lu's business is on the right track, you don't need to worry about it anymore. You should stay by my side. I'm not used to it when you're not here, Lin Yi said, so the excuse you used was to go to Yanjing to manage the company, ah? Let my father take charge of the company? Is that okay? Han Jingjing was shocked. Actually, that's not an excuse. Jing was really researching something. You said it yourself. He was tortured by drugs and became like this. After my treatment, he will be completely free from the control of drugs. With this lesson, he won't make the same mistake again. Lin Yi nodded. Then Jing will thank Lin Yi bro for trusting me on behalf of my father. Han Jingjing said gratefully. If father makes another mistake this time, Jing won't ask for mercy anymore. You don't need to ask for mercy. I can't do anything to him. Lin Yi shook his head. Right, Jing, your family doesn't know who you are? They know a part of it, but not all of it. They know that I went out to learn from others, but they only think that I learned business knowledge and not science. Han Jingjing said. And when I go home, I always wear a mask. They don't know what I really look like. Actually, the me now is the real me. I see. Lin Yi nodded. This also explained why Lu Tianli and Lu Zhenhu didn't think of asking for mercy from Han Jingjing after what happened to House Lu. They didn't know how much Han Jingjing helped them. After understanding the truth, Lin Yi let Han Jingjing go back to her mansion to rest. Although Lin Yi was curious about the second-grade cauldron, he wasn't in a hurry. Han Jingjing had been too tired recently, and Lin Yi wanted her to rest. Han Jingjing didn't reject him. She was indeed exhausted these days, and it wasn't a bad thing to rest for a few days. Of course, just as Han Jingjing was about to leave, her phone rang. Han Jingjing glanced at the ringing phone and casually pressed a button near her chest. Her voice turned into Lu Jing'an's voice. Hello? What is it? Oh. My father went back? All right, bring him to Donghai immediately. I'm in Donghai, so I'll take a private jet. The sooner the better. The people Han Jingjing ordered were the people in charge of watching over Tianli in the sanatorium. They immediately reported to Lu Jinghan when they saw that Tianli was sent back. Since Lin Yi said that he could cure Tianli's addiction, naturally, she would send him to Donghai. After hanging up, Han Jingjing said, Lin Yi bro, I've asked someone to send my father here. Can I come to your mansion directly? Of course. Lin Yi nodded. I have something to tell him anyway. Lu Tianli, on the other hand, wasn't good at expanding his business, but he was good at keeping his business. The Lu group didn't need to expand at all, and all they sold were Han Jingjing's products. Moreover, they were working with the Cultivator Trade Association and Fatty Lie's medical company. He didn't need to expand himself at all. What Tianli was afraid of was that Lin Yi would dump House Lu one day. But he believed that once Tianli saw the close relationship between him and Lu Jinghan, he wouldn't have to worry about that anymore. He would just focus on running the company. Chapter 3207. To put it bluntly, it was because of the drugs in his body. If it weren't for the drugs, Lu Tianli wouldn't have listened to Kang Mingming at all. Han Jingjing went back to rest, and Lin Yi took the opportunity before Tianli came to think about what Lu Jinghan had said. From all the clues, his master and those sky-class late-phase peak masters from the ancient sects went to do the same thing. Han Jingjing didn't know what it was exactly, but old Lin probably knew. It was just that he didn't tell him about it. What was it exactly? From Han Jingjing's tone, it seemed like those masters couldn't handle it, and she needed his help. But, if those sky-class late-phase peak perfect masters couldn't handle it, could he, Lin Yi? Lin Yi didn't think that he had that much ability. He knew himself best. Killing sky-class late-phase peak masters was just a bluff. In reality, it was the blood-clothed underworld sect who killed them, and it had nothing to do with Lin Yi. But since he couldn't figure it out after thinking for a long time, Lin Yi didn't think too much about it. He shook his head and decided to take it one step at a time. Jiao Lao, do you know about my master, Sun Sikong, and the others? Lin Yi returned to the jade space and asked Jiao Lao. I know a little, but it's not very clear. Plus, your level isn't high enough, and you don't have enough authority. My memory isn't unlocked, so I can't answer your question. Jiao Yazi said. Damn. Lin Yi felt a bit helpless when he heard Jiao Lao's formulaic words, but he was used to it. After all, Jiao Lao always spoke like this. However, there was one thing that Lin Yi could confirm. Jiao Yazi knew Sun Sikong, and they should be related. At this moment, he felt like he'd walked into a trap, a meticulously laid out trap. Of course, it wasn't that someone was trying to harm him, but it was as if there was an invisible hand behind him ever since he'd come to Songshan, influencing the course of his life. Or rather, it couldn't be said to be an influence, but rather, everything he had now was planned by that person in advance. Now that he thought about it, this person was really powerful. Of course, Lin Yi wasn't worried, because his master and old man Lin were definitely involved in the plot. These two people were the closest to him, so they definitely wouldn't harm him. The decisions made by these people could only be said to have helped Lin Yi embark on a successful path. Now that he thought about it, Lin Yi's strength had increased rapidly along the way, which was a good thing. From Han Jingjing's words, Lin Yi could roughly guess what was going on, but he wasn't too sure. Of course, all guesses were useless. After all, whether it was Han Jingjing or Jiao Yazi, they only had a vague idea of what was going on. Han Jingjing didn't know that Jiao Yazi couldn't unlock his memories because he wasn't strong enough. To put it bluntly, he was just a shadow, just like a computer robot. It was programmed and couldn't be changed, but it was more human-like. The only person who knew about it was old man Lin, but he still kept it a secret and refused to tell the truth, so Lin Yi could only give up for now. The next morning, Tianli was sent to Lin Yi's villa. Tianli was feeling very nervous. He knew that he didn't die the last 2 times because of Lu Jinghan, but he didn't know what Lu Jinghan did to make Lin Yi change his mind. But this time, Tianli didn't know if Lin Yi would let him go. From another perspective, if it were Tianli himself, he wouldn't let go of someone who betrayed the company so easily. Mr. Lin. Seeing Lin Yi walk out, Tianli was a little fearful. He knew that Lin Yi could destroy him and House Lu with just a flick of his finger. House Lu might look glorious now, but if Lin Yi were to abandon them, then they would be in trouble anytime. After all, Lin Yi had a lot of allies, and these people might just kick them when they were down. Of course, this was also the reason why Tianli wanted to innovate and get rid of Lin Yi. House Lu could only rely on Lin Yi, and if one day Lin Yi didn't want to support House Lu anymore, then House Lu would be done for. As far as Tianli was concerned, this kind of cooperation without any familial ties wasn't reliable. Lin Yi looked at the sunken eyes, the skinny Tianli, and couldn't help but sigh. This guy was taking drugs like this, how pitiful. Lin Yi nodded, follow me then. With that, Lin Yi walked towards Han Jingjing's villa, and Tianli followed carefully behind Lin Yi, not knowing how Lin Yi was going to deal with him. Han Jingjing had already woken up, and had changed into Lu Jing'an's appearance. Hearing the doorbell, she came out to open the door. She hadn't seen Tianli in a long time, and seeing him in such a pitiful state made her heart ache. Jingjing, I've let you down. Tianli knew that he was in the wrong, but he couldn't control himself when the addiction kicked in. I know, I've made mistakes many times, and it's all because of you. This time, I know that I'm in the wrong, so punish me accordingly. I'm a drug addict now, and I'm a useless person now. Mr. Lin, please give me a quick death, don't vent your anger on House Lu and Jingjing. Uncle Lu, let's talk inside. Lin Yi didn't think that Tianli would realize this. It seemed like he wasn't a bad person, and this made Lin Yi sigh in relief. Although Lin Yi would still let Tianli take control of the company for Jingjing's sake, Lin Yi was naturally happy that Tianli was a good person. You. What did you call me? Tianli paused, not expecting Lin Yi to be this polite to him, even calling him uncle. As far as he was concerned, Lin Yi being able to call him by his name was already good enough. He wasn't even scolding him, and now he was calling him uncle? Uncle Lu, no matter what, you're Jing's father. Chapter 3208. Lu Jinghan blushed a little. Even if she was Han Jingjing, she still felt a little embarrassed. Ah. Tianli paused, finally understanding what was going on. So his daughter was already with Lin Yi? Thinking about how Lin Yi had let him go a few times before, it was probably because of this relationship. He couldn't help but feel ashamed. He had to use his daughter's relationship to let him go in the end. Who knew how much pressure Lu Jinghan was under right now? Tianli sighed at the thought. Jingjing, although you have this relationship with Mr. Lin, I'm still like a normal person when I'm sober. Once the addiction kicks in, I won't be able to control myself, and I'll lose my mind. I don't want to cause you any more trouble, and I don't want to affect your relationship with Mr. Lin because of me. I don't want Mr. Lin to have a bad impression of House Lu. Plus, this addiction of mine is worse than death. Just end it for me. Tianli was relieved now that he had seen the relationship between Lin Yi and Lu Jinghan. At least House Lu wouldn't fall for the next 100 years. So what if he died? Wasn't the reason he did business with Mr. Lang so that House Lu wouldn't fall? Uncle Lu, I can cure your addiction. Lin Yi waved his hand. You can cure it? Are you serious? Tianli paused. He didn't believe it. His addiction hadn't been cured after all this time. How could Lin Yi cure it? Uncle Lu, don't forget how I met House Lu. Have you forgotten what I'm good at? Lin Yi smiled. Ah. Yes, you're Miracle Dr. Lin. Tianli was surprised and happy at the thought. House Lu and Lin Yi met because Lin Yi treated Jinhu's illness. But as time passed, and Lin Yi invented medicine, Tianli forgot about it. Lin Yi nodded. He sat on the sofa and said to Tianli, take off your shirt, I'll do acupuncture for you. Yes. Tianli quickly sat on the sofa respectfully. Although he knew about the relationship between Lin Yi and Lu Jinghan, he didn't dare to act like an elder. Lin Yi wasn't a normal person, and he was a criminal. Tianli didn't dare to be arrogant. While Tianli was taking off his shirt, Lin Yi wrote down a prescription for Jinghan. Then, he spoke to Lu Jinghan using his true qi. This is the prescription for the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing. Go and make some. If you're lacking some, go buy it from a pharmacy. But don't buy it from the same pharmacy. Lu Jinghan was slightly taken aback. She knew the effects and value of the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing. During House Yu's auction, it was sold for hundreds of millions. Moreover, Kang Mingming had racked his brains for this prescription. Of course, that was because Lin Yi had changed it into a third-level pill. But this was in Lu Jing'an's hands. This was a medicinal formula. Just a medicinal formula alone could achieve the medicinal efficacy of a third-grade medicinal formula. It would not be an exaggeration to say that this thing was a priceless and rare treasure. But Lin Yi clearly trusted her. He didn't even hesitate to tell her. Of course, the person Lin Yi trusted was Han Jingjing, and Han Jingjing didn't hide anything from Lin Yi either. There was nothing for Lin Yi to hide from her. Lu Jinghan took the prescription. Although her face was expressionless, her big watery eyes were filled with emotion. Nodding his head, he turned around and left. Tianli didn't know what Lin Yi had given Lu Jinghan, but he didn't ask. He waited for Lin Yi to do the acupuncture. In actuality, all Lin Yi had to do was help Tianli get the poison out of his body, and then use the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing to get the poison out of his body, and everything would be fine. This was an easy task for Lin Yi. after all, compared to the fire poison and other poisons from practitioners, this was a piece of cake. Very soon, Lin Yi finished the acupuncture treatment, and Lu Jinghan came back. She made a few pills according to Lin Yi's prescription and gave them to Lin Yi. Lin Yi took one out and gave it to Tianli. Take this and squat in the toilet. There was a lot of poison in Tianli's body, and although Lin Yi used acupuncture to force it all together, Tianli would only need to take the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing to start excreting the poison until it was all gone. As expected, Tianli ran to the toilet after taking it, and Lu Jinghan let out a breath of relief. She suddenly hugged Lin Yi and kissed Lin Yi on the cheek. Thank you, Lin Yi bro, Jingjing, you don't have to say these things to me. Lin Yi shook his head. It's just that I feel like Lu Jinghan is kissing me right now, it's so weird. Hee, you're both Jingjing anyways, isn't it good to have two Jingjing? Lu Jinghan smiled. Alright. Lin Yi thought about it and felt that it was quite exciting. It wasn't that he couldn't accept that Han Jingjing had two identities. Right, Lin Yi bro, is this the prescription for the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing? Why did you tell Jingjing? This thing is really precious. Han Jingjing pointed at the prescription in her hand and asked carefully. Which of my prescriptions don't you know? Lin Yi patted Lu Jinghan's head. Give the rest of the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing to House Lu. Your grandpa's getting old, and his body's functions are declining. It's easy for toxins to accumulate. As long as you give him one every 5 to 10 years, he'll be able to live to 100 without a problem. Really? Lu Jinghan was a little surprised. You're a refiner yourself, don't you know the effects of the pill? Lin Yi smiled bitterly. If it weren't for his old age, he'd be able to cultivate it right away. Why was that idiotic rich kid Kong Ming able to train so quickly? Wasn't it because he'd used this before? I see. Lu Jinghan nodded. Tianli stayed in the toilet for more than 2 hours before coming out. He looked like he was about to collapse, but the color of his skin was indescribably fresh. Tianli, on the other hand, had some energy in him, but he looked lifeless. How do you feel? Lin Yi asked. The smell of the waste I excreted almost killed me. There's also the smell of drugs in there. This time, I feel like puking whenever I see drugs, let alone smoking them. Tianli waved his hand. I don't even smoke cigarettes anymore. Chapter 3209. Tianli didn't expect that not only did Lin Yi cure his addiction, but he also let him continue managing the company. This was something he didn't expect at all. Could it be that Lin Yi really trusted him that much? Or was Lu Jinghan already spoiled to a certain extent? Thinking about it, it could only be the latter. After all the things he did before, not just Lin Yi, even House Lu was worried about him. But, how did Lu Jinghan make Lin Yi happy, making Lin Yi make a decision like this? Tianli simply couldn't understand what it was about his daughter that attracted Lin Yi to her. It was true that she had beauties, but Lin Yi didn't lack beauties around him. Not to mention Meng Yao and Yushu, even Ling Shan and Jingyi were top beauties, and there was also Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao, who left earlier. Tianli even heard that there were 2 celebrities living in Lin Yi's house, and none of them were worse than Lu Jinghan. How did Lu Jinghan do it? And looking at the current situation, it seemed that Lin Yi trusted Lu Jinghan a lot. Of course, as a father, it wasn't appropriate for Tianli to ask these questions. What if his daughter was good in bed or something? That would be awkward. No matter what, Tianli was very happy. Mr. Lin, thank you for your trust, but I'm someone who's made mistakes. If I take over House Lu's business, will people talk behind my back? Tianli said worriedly. Who's talking behind your back? The people on my side all listen to my decisions. As for the enemies, they can say whatever they want. Lin Yi smiled. The main thing is that Jing wants to stay by my side, and there's no one to take care of the company. You can let Lil Chao help you. Lil Chao may be a bit of a nerd, but he's very principled. With him by your side, I won't have to worry. Lu Jinghan interrupted. Lil Chao. That works too. Tianli nodded. He really wanted to go back to managing the company, but he was still afraid that something might go wrong. With Han Xiaochao's supervision, he would be able to relax. Lin Yi was a bit surprised. Han Xiaochao looked like a nerd. Did he know how to manage a company? Jinghan smiled, perhaps noticing Lin Yi's expression. Lin Yi bro, don't look at little Chao just because he's a bookworm. His business skills aren't any worse than Jing's. He's the one who made most of the company's decisions, especially when it comes to perfecting business plans. He's an expert when it comes to making up for mistakes. Really? I didn't think that Han Xiaochao had this kind of ability. Lin Yi knew that Han Jingjing wouldn't lie to him, so he was very surprised. Don't worry, Lin Yi bro, Jing's recommendation will never be wrong. Lu Jinghan said. Yes, of course I trust you. Lin Yi nodded and turned to Tianli. Uncle Lu, if there's nothing else, you can bring Lil Chao back. There must be someone in charge of the company, and I'll tell you about the latest product through Jing. They followed in the footsteps of the piracy and made the peripherals usable locally. It wouldn't look good. Therefore, Han Jingjing had no choice but to push out the third upgrade. For this upgrade, she also solidified the refining procedures of the remaining first-grade elixirs in the upgrade program. This time, the upgrade also removed the peripheral network mode, and directly used the local direct use mode. Chapter 32:10. The upgrade this time was to restore the reputation of Miracle Dr. Guan's first-level cauldron. It wasn't just for the sake of upgrading. After all, Han Jingjing had basically given up on researching and developing a first-level cauldron. There was nothing left to research and develop. All first-level pills could be made with a first-level cauldron. There was no need to upgrade it anymore. Of course, the most important thing was that after a few back-and-forth commercial wars, the market demand for first-level cauldrons had reached a state of saturation. The explosive sales from before no longer existed. Unless there was an additional alchemist apprentice in the sect or someone's cauldron was accidentally broken, basically no one would buy a cauldron, so in this market, Han Jingjing simply did not fight for it. The company's crisis had been temporarily passed. Her main focus now was on researching and developing a second-level cauldron. However, a second-level cauldron wasn't something that could be completed overnight. Currently, there was only some progress in theory. She still needed a lot of experiments. And this time, the encryption technology had to be more advanced. So there was still a long process before it could be put on the market. Lin Yi was thinking about how to raise Han Jingjing to Sky Class as soon as possible. As long as Han Jingjing was a Sky Class master, she would fulfill the requirements for a third-level pill. She should be able to make the Qi-gathering pill. Of course, the most important problem was that Lin Yi didn't have a third-level cauldron yet. Han Jingjing could only simulate making pills. She couldn't actually do it. Although she had obtained a Shinong cauldron from Right Coiling Tiger, it was broken and incomplete. She originally thought that she could get a Divine Tool Medicine cauldron from the ancient tomb, but it had mysteriously disappeared. Therefore, even if Han Jingjing could refine it, there was no medicine cauldron to use for the time being. Thinking about this, Lin Yi felt that it was necessary for him to research a third-level cauldron. The first plan was to repair the Shinong cauldron. Lin Yi got a book called The Way of Mending from Han Xiaopa's house. Lin Yi hadn't studied it in detail yet. According to the introduction, it was easier to become a mending master than a blacksmith. A blacksmith needed to have 3 attributes while a mending master only needed 2. Now that Lin Yi was a cultivator of the 5 elements and 7 attributes, he had 2 virtual and 5 real attributes. He was more than enough to become a mending master. The second plan was to find a way to get a third-level cauldron from the Heavenly Elixir sect. Basically, Lin Yi couldn't count on the Yu family. It was estimated that the entire Yu family only had 1 or 2 third-level cauldrons. This kind of thing could only be forged by a blacksmith, and the Yu family couldn't. Naturally, they couldn't give their only medicine cauldron to Lin Yi unless Lin Yi could offer them benefits that they couldn't refuse. However, it was obvious that Lin Yi wouldn't give them benefits that they couldn't refuse. As for the third plan, it was to collect the refining materials for a third-level cauldron. Lin Yi could refine one himself. Now that Lin Yi was a blacksmith, it shouldn't be a big problem to refine a third-level cauldron. However, it seemed that the feasibility of the first and second plans was higher. Lin Yi had the way of the blacksmith mending remnant volume in his hands. He could learn the blacksmith mending technique and repair the Shinnon cauldron. However, he didn't know what level of blacksmith mending technique was needed to repair the Shinnon cauldron. Moreover, he didn't know if he could find the corresponding materials for the repair. The second plan was nothing more than the next time Kang Ming looked for him to discuss the conditions, he could exchange for a third-level cauldron. This plan was more feasible, but the price to pay would definitely be higher. Now, Kang Ming wasn't a fool. He would definitely ask for a sky-high price. As for the third plan, it was more unrealistic. First of all, Lin Yi didn't know the casting method of a third-level cauldron. Without the corresponding information, he didn't know what materials were needed. Moreover, the blacksmith technique that Lin Yi was currently learning was only used to condense the space in the jade pendant. Whether he was a blacksmith or not, he didn't know whether he could refine a third-level cauldron. After thinking for a while, Lin Yi took out the way of the blacksmith mending remnant volume, and flipped through it. If the first method didn't work, Lin Yi would have to study the second method. Just like blacksmiths, the profession of tinker was also divided into 4 levels: heaven, earth, black, and yellow. The highest level was heaven, and the lowest was yellow. Similarly, unlike cultivators and alchemists, tinker and blacksmiths only had these 4 levels. Now it seemed that blacksmith mending and blacksmith mending came from the same origin. These two professions were also very similar. Opening the way of the blacksmith mending remnant volume, there was a description of the tools that could be repaired. A yellow-level blacksmith mending master could repair a first-level divine weapon, a black-level blacksmith mending master could repair a second-level divine weapon, an earth-level blacksmith mending master could repair a third-level divine weapon, and a heaven-level blacksmith mending master could repair a 4th-level divine weapon. The back of the book was blank. There were only the words 5th-level divine weapon, but it didn't say what kind of blacksmith mending master could repair. Now that he thought about it, the remnant volume of the way of the blacksmith mending manual meant that it wasn't complete. This should be a complete copy of the way of the blacksmith mending manual. Above the heaven level, there was the level of cultivators. Lin Yi already knew about this. It was commonly known as the Heavenly Tao. Perhaps only a Heavenly Tao master could repair a 5th-level divine weapon. The introduction of a 1st-level divine weapon was a weapon that could be used by a yellow-level blacksmith mending master. Reading this, Lin Yi couldn't help but be slightly stunned. Could it be that a yellow-level blacksmith mending master could also use a divine weapon? The introduction of the book overturned Lin Yi's previous understanding. However, thinking about it, Han Xiaopa should have read this book before. Didn't he have any doubts? Thinking about this, Lin Yi called Han Xiaopa directly to find out what was going on. Boss. Han Xiaopa was a bit curious about Lin Yi's sudden call. Did something happen? East Ocean City had been very peaceful recently, and the hostile ancient forces had temporarily stopped their activities. Therefore, Han Xiaopa really didn't think that something had happened to Lin Yi. Xiaopa, I want to ask you something. Lin Yi said, you should have read the remnant volume of the way of the blacksmith mending manual that I took from the Han family, right? There are some things in it that I want to ask you. Chapter 32:11. It's like this. It says that a first-grade magical weapon can be used by a yellow-class cultivator, and a second-grade magical weapon can be used by a mystic-class cultivator, and so on. Lin Yi paused before continuing. What I want to know is, isn't it common knowledge that only heaven-class experts can use magical weapons? How can a yellow class, mystic class, and earth class expert have magical weapons? Oh. Boss, you don't know this? Han Xiaopa was puzzled after hearing Lin Yi's question. He didn't understand why Lin Yi would ask such a question. What's wrong? Does everyone know about this? Lin Yi was slightly taken aback before smiling bitterly. Xiaopa, it's not like you don't know that I'm a rogue cultivator. I don't know about these things that everyone knows, that's right. Han Xiaopa suddenly remembered Lin Yi's identity after hearing Lin Yi's words. He immediately said, I'm sorry, boss. I didn't mean to make fun of you. I really thought you knew about this. It's okay, I know. Tell me what's going on. Lin Yi said nonchalantly. Actually, it's very simple. Indeed, a long time ago, all cultivators had magical weapons such as yellow class, mystic class, and earth class. However, the quality of these weapons was obviously not as good as a heaven class magical weapon. Just like a first grade and second grade cauldron, these things have a lifespan. Han Xiaopa explained, the profession of blacksmiths has disappeared for a long time, and the profession of blacksmiths has never appeared again. The divine weapons used by yellow, mystic, and even earth-class masters are basically all broken and buried in the river of time. What's left now are only a few heaven-grade divine weapons of excellent quality. Most of them are also broken, which is why heaven-grade divine weapons are so rare nowadays. As for earth-class magical weapons, perhaps some damaged wreckage can be found in the treasure vaults of some sects, but they are no longer usable. I see. Lin Yi was suddenly enlightened. It turned out that cultivators could use divine weapons. However, the blacksmiths were gone, and so were the weapon replenishers. The divine weapons used by the masters of the yellow, mystic, and earth ranks were also gone. The reason why the heaven-ranked divine weapons had been preserved until now was also because their quality was better. Of course, only those of good quality had been preserved, the majority of them had been damaged. Little Puh, for example, ancient divine weapons, what grade do they belong to? What level of cultivators are using it? Lin Yi asked. Ancient godly weapon? This kind of divine weapon can be used by heaven-ranked elites, but legend has it that only heaven-ranked elites can use this kind of divine weapon. As for the imitation divine weapon, it can only be used by heaven-ranked elites. It can't withstand the strength of a heaven-ranked elite's true chi. Of course, these are all legends, I've never seen it before. Han Xiaopa explained. I understand, little Pa. Lin Yi nodded and said, how's the Han family recently? It's pretty good. The Zhao family is done for. We took over the Zhao family's territory and foundation. Although the Zhao family doesn't have much money, they still have some natural treasures. After these things merged with our Han family's treasure vault, the Han family is currently not weak among all the hidden families. Han Xiaopa said happily, oh right, Grandpa said that when you have time, you can come and choose these things to see if there are any that you can use. There are only a few things that I can use, you know, Lin Yi said with a smile, I'm not very interested in the others. You can keep them for yourself. That's fine. Anyway, boss, if you need anything, just let me know, Han Xiaopa said. After hanging up the phone with Han Xiaopa, Lin Yi looked at the incomplete scroll of the Way of Tool Mender in his hand and sighed. According to the classification, a first-grade medicine cauldron was also a first-grade divine weapon. A second-grade medicine cauldron was a second-grade divine weapon, and so on. The Shinong cauldron was an ancient godly weapon. In this case, even a heaven-ranked tool mender wouldn't be able to repair it. This thing should be a fifth-grade divine weapon, right? And Lin Yi wasn't even a first-grade yellow-ranked tool mender. It wasn't realistic for him to repair the Shinong cauldron. Let's not talk about whether Lin Yi could become a fourth-grade heaven-ranked tool mender. Even if he did, he probably wouldn't be able to repair the Shinong cauldron. It seemed like he could only think of a way to get one from the Heavenly Elixir sect. And this incomplete scroll of the Way of Tool Mender was temporarily stored in the Jade space by Lin Yi. Recently, Lin Yi had a lot of things to do, so he focused on cultivation. As for the tool mender, there weren't any godly weapons that needed to be repaired right now. Lin Yi didn't need to waste his energy on learning and practicing. When he had free time, Lin Yi would research this thing again. In actuality, Lin Yi was thinking if he could let Han Jingjing learn this thing. Could she make a scientific tool mender? If she could, then he wouldn't have to learn it himself. Lin Yi thought it was funny when he thought of this. But now, he was relying on Han Jingjing more and more. Today was the day that Lin Yi brought Su Shihan and Cheng Yi to the Songshan orphanage. Lin Yi had already made plans with Xiaoke and Ken to bring the two celebrities to the orphanage for rehearsal. Today's orphanage had undergone tremendous changes. Although it had moved to the suburbs, the orphanage already had its own school and auditorium. The auditorium was built to enrich the orphans' learning life. Here, they could hold get-togethers, art festivals, and even watch movies. This was the venue for the fundraising event, and the gymnasium near the hall was for the orphans to train and have sports events. It could be used for concerts. Although these facilities looked luxurious, since Xiaoke wanted to build a top-level charity base, these things were approved by Lin Yi. In actuality, Lin Yi didn't need much money. He only needed to earn enough. There were two reasons why Lin Yi donated most of his money to Xiaoke. One was because of his identity as a male thief, and the other was a more important reason. Chapter 32:12. To be honest, Lin Yi's master's wealth was unimaginable. Lin Yi didn't need to earn money himself, but now that his master wasn't here, Lin Yi didn't want to borrow money from his master, so he started his own company. Of course, Lin Yi didn't tell anyone about this. Fatty Lai and Lu Jinghan simply thought that he donated money because he liked it, and they didn't know the deeper reason behind it. But this wasn't important, and Lin Yi didn't plan to say it. Xiaoke looked at the man who helped her a lot, and her heart was filled with emotions. She felt like a pregnant girl who couldn't be with Lin Yi, but she couldn't resist the temptation of Lin Yi's money time and time again. Sometimes, Xiaoke thought that she was really bad. She took so much money from Lin Yi, and did she really think that Lin Yi was a fool? Was he the same as the people who stole wallets? Of course, it wasn't the same. Xiaoke wasn't a heartless person, but for the orphanage, for the children, Xiaoke would rather be punished by Lin Yi in the future. Even if he killed her, Xiaoke would accept it. Lin Yi naturally didn't know what Xiaoke was thinking. He looked at the clothes she was wearing when he first met her, and he couldn't help but sigh. The orphanage was so rich now, but Xiaoke still dressed like this. He could tell that she didn't spend a single cent on him, and this made Lin Yi admire this girl. This was also the reason why Lin Yi, as a male thief, gradually fell in love with Xiaoke. She was a strong girl. Of course, as for Xiaoke's anger towards Lin Yi didn't mind. It was fine as long as he knew the truth. If it weren't for the fact that he was a male thief, Lin Yi wouldn't have paid so much money to Xiaoke's orphanage. Although old Lin did donate, Lin Yi could have donated to other orphanages or charities. Xiaoke, if you have the chance, buy some clothes for yourself. I don't need to say how good they are, but you don't need to look so shabby. You're the manager of the orphanage, and if you dress so shabbily, it won't be easy for you to get sponsors, Lin Yi said. I don't have money. You'll buy it for me? Xiaoke wanted her to save as much as she could, but when she said it, it became something that people misunderstood. Xiaoke was troubled. Did she know how to speak? Wasn't this a hint to Lin Yi? As expected, Lin Yi paused for a moment, that workable. How about this, I bring you to buy some clothes later. Tomorrow is the day of the charity event and concert. You can't go on stage wearing these clothes, can you? Xiaoke wanted to reject, but after hearing Lin Yi's words, she felt that something was wrong. She was representing the orphanage to speak tomorrow, and it didn't seem right to dress so shabbily. Those in the know would know that Xiaoke really wanted to save money, but those who didn't would think that Xiaoke was putting on a show, and it would make the people who donated feel disgusted. After all, the skyscrapers, the auditorium, and the stadium were all grand, but Xiaoke, a manager of a charity organization, had to wear rags. If this wasn't putting on a show, then what was? And so, Xiaoke hesitated. She didn't want to agree, but she didn't want to spend the money, and if she agreed, she'd have to get closer to Lin Yi again. She was a stingy girl, and he could think whatever he wanted. She made up her mind. She was a bad girl, and he could think whatever he wanted. Okay, that's what you said. Xiaoke nodded. Lin Yi was startled. He didn't think that Xiaoke would really agree. It was strange. Wasn't this girl always hiding from him? Why did she change her mind today? But in front of so many people, it wasn't appropriate for him to ask. He only nodded in agreement. Right, where's the dean? Lin Yi looked around and realized that other than Xiao Ken, the dean was nowhere to be seen. Logically speaking, the dean should have come out for something this big. After all, Su Shihan and Chen Yi were big stars, and they were here to help the orphanage. As the dean of the orphanage, she couldn't possibly avoid them, could she? The dean isn't feeling well, so she's resting in the room. Xiaoke was curious why the dean didn't show up. She didn't know why he was against the concert and the donations, but today, he suddenly said that he wasn't feeling well for such a big event. Xiaoke didn't know what to do, but she didn't know what to do. Oh. What's wrong with the dean? Do you need me to go see her? Lin Yi asked worriedly. I don't know. Maybe we can go see her. Xiaoke was curious too. Lin Yi was a doctor, so it was good for him to see the dean. Let's go then. Lin Yi waved at the car behind, signaling Su Shihan and Cheng Yi to get off. They were celebrities, and they didn't get off the car when they arrived at the orphanage. They wanted to go to the hall and gymnasium to rehearse. There were many places in the orphanage under construction, and there were many outsiders. If the two celebrities showed up, they would attract the attention of the workers. Han, we're going to see the dean. Are you going to rehearse directly or with me? If you're going directly, Xiao Ken will follow you. If not, we'll go see the dean. She's sick, I'm going to see her. Then we'll go see her with you. Su Shihan was a kind-hearted person. She heard that the dean was sick, so she had to go see her. And so, Lin Yi brought Xiaoke and Ken to the MPV. This was Feng Sanhuang's MPV, and it had a lot of space. Xiaoke and Ken didn't feel cramped when they got in. He couldn't recognize the orphanage anymore, and Ken was the only one leading the way. Sanhuang turned here and there before stopping in front of a dormitory. Lin Yi had been here before, but the building had changed a lot. They got out of the car, entered the dormitory, and arrived at the door of the old dean's room. Xiaoke knocked on the door, and the dean's voice came from inside. Who is it, Xiaoke? It's me, master. Xiaoke said. Chapter 32:13. The dean wasn't lying. There was indeed something wrong with her body, and she could feel that she didn't have much time left. Although she wouldn't die immediately, it would be within a year or two. The injuries she suffered when she was young were too severe, and after that, she forced herself to cultivate. Her meridians were always in a damaged state, and she continued to cultivate. This way, although she recovered part of her strength, it also caused her meridians to overload, speeding up her aging. Her body's functions entered the twilight years ahead of time. Therefore, the dean wasn't lying. Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat when he saw the dean. This was because Amos had indeed aged a lot compared to the last time they had met. Although she was old before, her spirit was hale and hearty. But now, why did she look like she had one foot in the grave? Seeing this, Lin Yi frowned slightly and hurriedly asked, Dean, I heard you're sick. What happened? You don't look well? It's nothing, just an old illness. The dean smiled, obviously unwilling to talk too much with Lin Yi. She just wanted to send Lin Yi and the others away. Rest, and you'll be fine, the dean's words were very clear. She wanted to rest, and as long as Lin Yi and the others weren't idiots, they would definitely be able to hear the dean's intention to send them away. But it was one thing for Lin Yi to hear it, and another for him to do it. Lin Yi didn't have any intention of leaving. He entered the dean's room, and after a moment of silence, he said, "Dean, let me take a look for you." Actually, when he was treating Boss Bai, Yu Xiaoke had brought up a similar question, asking him to treat her master. But back then, Lin Yi had many concerns because Lin Yi's strength wasn't high, and he was afraid that if he treated Yu Xiaoke's master, her enemy would take revenge. After all, Lin Yi vaguely heard that Yu Xiaoke's master was a mystic or even an earth class, so the person who injured her was at least an earth class or even a sky class. This meant that Lin Yi wasn't a match for this enemy at all. But it was different now. Lin Yi was famous outside, and even in the ancient sects, it was said that Lin Yi could instantly kill a sky-class late-phase pinnacle. With this kind of method, who would dare to cause trouble for Lin Yi? Unless they didn't want to live and wanted to die. Now that he had healed the orphanage's old dean, theoretically speaking, not only would the enemy not come for revenge, but the enemy wouldn't even dare to cause trouble for the old dean if he knew that it was Lin Yi who healed the old dean. Even the everyday sect and the Dongfang family had disappeared without a trace. Would others think that they were stronger than them? That was obviously impossible. Yu Xiaoke paused. She begged Lin Yi to heal the dean once, but Lin Yi brushed it off. What was up with Lin Yi today? Did he change? Why did he treat the old dean's injuries? Was it because she'd promised Lin Yi that she'd accept his clothes, so Lin Yi misunderstood that she wanted to be his girlfriend? Yes, that must be it. Otherwise, why would Lin Yi be so proactive? With that thought, Yu Xiaoke felt depressed. She wanted to explain, but then she remembered that the dean's injuries could be healed. What was the point of this? Forget it, she'd just given to Lin Yi. The dean was her master, and she'd raised her up. She had to repay her. For more than 10 years, Yu Xiaoke had lived for others. She'd never thought for herself. She'd finally met a male thief, but she couldn't choose her own love. However, Yu Xiaoke didn't regret it. That was the kind of person she was. Lin Yi, are you planning to heal master? Yu Xiaoke asked directly so that Lin Yi couldn't reject. I'll see, Lin Yi nodded. Then. If you heal the dean, I'll be grateful to you. Yu Xiaoke wanted to say that she'd give in to Lin Yi, but she couldn't bring herself to say it. What if Lin Yi didn't mean it that way? Although Yu Xiaoke felt that it was impossible for Lin Yi to not mean it that way, she still spoke ambiguously. Oh, Lin Yi didn't think much about it. His attention was completely on the dean. Seeing Lin Yi's indifferent face, Yu Xiaoke felt a little discouraged. Did he not treat her as a treasure anymore if she gave in to him? Yu Xiaoke was a little depressed. At this moment, Su Shihan was looking at the dean of the orphanage. She frowned. She felt that the dean was someone from her memory, but she couldn't remember where she had seen him before. However, this feeling of familiarity made her want to find out the truth, but she couldn't think of anything at the moment. However, the more she thought about it, the more curious Su Shihan got. After all, when a person saw a familiar face, they would always rack their brains to think of the person's background. Even if they couldn't think of it, they would still continue to think. My head hurts. Su Shihan's head suddenly started to hurt. It was a pain that came out of nowhere. Cold sweat dripped down her forehead. Luckily, she usually didn't wear makeup. Otherwise, her makeup would have been ruined. Lin Yi was just about to check on the dean's injury when he heard Su Shihan's moaning. He jumped in fright. Su Shihan had been fine at home for so many days. Why did she have a headache as soon as she went out? However, he didn't dare to neglect her. After all, Su Shirhan was a guest that he invited to the orphanage. He quickly apologized to the dean. "Dean, I'll check on her first." "Please wait, okay, quickly check on her." "What's wrong with her?" The dean didn't care about her own problem. She knew her body's condition. It was a side effect of an injury when she was young. She wouldn't die anytime soon. On the other hand, Su Shirhan was having a headache. The dean was very worried. Lin Yi saw the anxiety in the dean's eyes. He felt strange. He didn't understand why the dean was so concerned about Su Shirhan all of a sudden. But Su Shirhan was a guest of the orphanage. She had a headache, so the dean should care about her, right? Cheng Yi took out the painkiller and was ready to give it to Su Shirhan. However, Lin Yi waved his hand and massaged Su Shirhan's forehead and chest, alleviating her headache. This medicine, although it doesn't have any side effects, if you take it for a long time, you will develop resistance. So, don't use it if you can. Chapter 32:14. Xiaohan, what's wrong? Why do you have a headache all of a sudden? Lin Yi asked curiously. I don't know, maybe I overused my brain. Su Shirhan shook her head. She felt that the dean looked familiar, so she kept thinking that it might be her childhood memories that triggered the headache. But she didn't want to give up. Dean, have we met before? The dean's expression froze, and she looked at Su Shirhan. Met before? Miss Su, have you been to the orphanage before? No, but I feel that you look familiar, Su Shirhan said. I think I've seen you somewhere before. I can't remember, is that so? The dean didn't continue the topic, but turned to Lin Yi. Mr. Lin Yi, my body is fine. Why don't you bring Miss Su and Miss Cheng to rehearse? Don't delay tomorrow's business. It won't delay, we've already rehearsed at home. Today, we just need to familiarize ourselves with the place. Su Shirhan waved her hand. Lin Yi, why don't you take a look at the dean? Lin Yi nodded and sat beside the dean. He grabbed her arm and checked her pulse. The dean was helpless. She could only let Lin Yi check. After all, Lin Yi had good intentions. What else could she say? If she said too much, it would make Lin Yi even more suspicious. Lin Yi, how's my master? Xiaoka saw that Lin Yi didn't say anything, so she couldn't help but ask. Lin Yi frowned. The injury is very serious. From the looks of it, the dean will leave in 1 or 2 years. Ah? Is this for real? Lin Yi, don't say that. Xiaoka was shocked. The dean was surprised. Although she knew that Lin Yi was an expert in medicine, how could he know all this just from a checkup? Isn't this too magical? Amos was the one who knew her best. She had calculated it based on the progress of her aging, but Lin Yi had said it out loud. How could she not be surprised? Mr. Lin Yi is right, it's really just a matter of 1 or 2 years. The dean sighed. At first, I didn't have any plans. I wanted to hide this matter for a period of time, but today, since Mr. Lin Yi has seen through it, then I will say it. Dean. Xiaoka's eyes reddened. Lin Yi was indeed a miracle doctor. But it couldn't defy the heavens and change fate, right? So when the dean said those words, Xiaoka really thought that the dean was going to leave her soon. She felt very uncomfortable and didn't know what to say for a moment. Su Shirhan and Cheng Yi couldn't help but be silent. They didn't expect the two of them to just arrive. Although it was normal for people to be separated by life and death, no one would feel good when they encountered such a thing. Especially Su Shirhan. Hearing that the dean of the orphanage only had 1 or 2 years left, she felt a little melancholy. She didn't know why, but she had never met this dean before. Su Shirhan had a special feeling. She was going to die. Su Shirhan felt bad as well. Dean, your illness came from the meridians that were injured in your early years. Later, in order to cultivate, you forcefully attacked your meridians. Although you have some strength now, the meridians that weren't injured couldn't handle such strong qi, and it started to deteriorate. Now, you can't hold it anymore and are on the path of decline. Lin Yi said. Not bad. Mr. Lin Yi, you are truly a miracle doctor. The dean nodded. She was very impressed with Lin Yi's medical skills. You've troubled yourself. I know my body. It's not a simple illness, so you don't have to feel bad. Dean, I've said it before. Just call me Lil Yi. You don't have to be so polite. Lin Yi waved his hand. Besides, it's not hard for me to cure you. Shall we start now? It's not hard. The dean paused after hearing Lin Yi's words. She was a little stunned. I can call you Lil Yi, but you can cure my illness. Is that for real? Xiaoke listened to Lin Yi's detailed explanation of the dean's illness. She wasn't sad anymore. She knew that Boss Bai's problem was the same as the dean's. Since it was caused by the meridians, Lin Yi must have a way to cure it. Xiaoke knew that Lin Yi was a man of his words. He wouldn't say anything he wasn't sure of. If he said he could cure her, then he really could. With that thought, Xiaoke got excited. Dean, if Lin Yi said that, then he must be confident. Oh. The dean's eyes lit up. Actually, who would want to die if they could live? Although the dean had already accepted it, she was still hopeful. Lin Yi, will it be troublesome for you to cure me? Won't it be a waste of energy? It will definitely be a waste of energy, but it won't be too troublesome. Lin Yi shook his head with a smile. Shall we start now? Now? How do I help you? The dean asked quickly. You don't have to do anything. Lin Yi smiled and held the dean's pulse again. He activated the third stage of the art of dragon mastery and started repairing the dean's meridians. The speed of the third stage of the art of dragon mastery was much faster than before. As a result, Lin Yi's treatment time was much shorter than Boss Bai's. Anyone could see that the dean's face was pale a moment ago, but the next moment, it was glowing and full of life. The changes that followed were all visible to the naked eye. The meridians in the old director's body recovered, and so did the vitality of her organs. Just like Grandma's son back then, she immediately revealed the beauty of her youth. It was the same for the dean. Her skin used to be dry and wrinkled, but after Lin Yi's treatment, the wrinkles on her face became fewer and fewer, and she regained the beauty of a young woman. The dean was a practitioner, and she had always taken good care of herself. It was only after her injury that she became old. She was only in her early 40s, but she looked like she was in her 60s or 70s. But now, she was getting younger. 60 years old, 50 years old. 40 years old. 30 years old. Chapter 32:15. Although the dean was getting younger, everyone was excited because this was a miracle. Xiaoke clenched her fists. She knew that the dean would be fine this time, and only now did she know how beautiful she was when she was young. However, Su Shihan's eyes were filled with disbelief and shock, and this expression was getting more and more intense. She even wanted to scream out loud, but she didn't want to disturb Lin Yi's treatment. She could only suppress the excitement and shock in her heart, staring at the dean's face. Cheng Yi's face was filled with disbelief as well. She looked at the yard and then at Shihan, wanting to say something, but she didn't. Amos didn't know that her appearance had changed. What she could feel was the changes within her body. Her broken and damaged meridians were recovering at an incredible speed. This recovery shocked the dean. She didn't expect Lin Yi to have this kind of magical ability. Although Lin Yi had treated Xiaoke before, she didn't think much about it at that time. After all, Xiaoke had just been injured, and it was different from her old injuries. Who? Finally, Lin Yi let out a long breath and said to the dean, "It's done, dean. Try it, your meridians are all healed. What was your strength before?" Recovered just like that? The dean was shocked. She felt that her injuries were completely healed, but when Lin Yi said it, it was like she woke up from a dream. It wasn't a dream, but reality. Yes, can you check? Lin Yi nodded. The dean was very excited. There's no need to check. I can feel that before I was injured, I was an Earth class early phase. But, I'm only Golden class now, and even if my meridians are healed, the highest I can reach is Golden class late phase peak. With my age and talent, it'll be hard for me to get back to Mystic class, let alone Earth class. She couldn't help but sigh. Without the support of treasures and resources, I won't be able to return to my peak. If that's the case, then I'll help you recover your strength. Lin Yi smiled. He seized Immerse pulse once more. Right now, Lin Yi didn't need to hide these things. The more he showed to the outside world, the stronger he was. Then his opponents would be even more afraid of him. Of course, when they found out that Lin Yi wasn't that powerful, Lin Yi wouldn't be able to hide anything. They would still put Lin Yi to death. Kang Mingming and Zhang Wen probably wanted to do this a long time ago, and there was also Pin Liang who was staring at them. His 3 opponents. He had never thought of reconciling with her. As for Zhao Qibing, he was no longer a threat. He was just a stray dog. Therefore, Lin Yi did not care whether or not he would expose some of his magical abilities. Recover his strength? Amos was slightly taken aback and shocked. Yes. Lin Yi nodded. However, when Lin Yi turned to look at Amos, Lin Yi's eyes widened. He furrowed his brows. Chapter 32:16. In fact, no one knew that Su Shihan became a star because she wanted to find her mother. She didn't know the truth. She hoped that her frequent appearances could let her mother see, and one day, her mother would come to find her. So, when the dean found out that Su Shihan would come to the orphanage to perform, she was both excited and hesitant. She was afraid that if she interacted with Su Shihan, not only would she hurt herself, but she would also hurt Su Shihan and the orphanage. Dongfang Xiaocui, that jealous woman, would she let Su Shihan go? Would she let her go? Who knows, maybe the children of the orphanage would be dragged into it. Although the original intention of the orphanage was to find Su Shihan, after so many years, she had fallen in love with the children of the orphanage. She was afraid that these children would be in danger and trouble. But, what she didn't expect was that Su Shihan recognized her. Miss Su. What are you talking about? Is your mother here? The dean pretended to be calm. She didn't want to expose her identity, so she asked with a hopeful heart. Mistress. Feng Sanhuang, who had been standing at the door, quickly walked over and bowed. I finally found you. Sanhuang? The dean knew that she couldn't hide it anymore. She knew Feng Sanhuang. Back when she was dating Feng Tianlin, Feng Sanhuang was Feng Tianlin's follower. However, she was from the thief sect and the Feng family looked down on a petty thief like her. In addition, the eldest son of the Feng family had run away from the marriage. The Feng family had to have someone marry into the Dongfang family. Otherwise, the Dongfang family would seek revenge. After all, it was Feng family who begged Dongfang family for the marriage, but now that Feng family ran away, where would Dongfang family's face go? In order to appease Dongfang family, Feng family would definitely accept the marriage, so Feng Tianlin replaced his elder brother and married Dongfang Xiaocui. Feng Tianlin was a weak person, and he couldn't refuse his father's expectant gaze. Dongfang Xiaocui from Dongfang family also chose Feng Tianlin after seeing the photos of the other people from Feng family. She felt that Feng Tianlin was a more refined person, unlike Feng Tianhu, who was sneaky, so Dongfang family decided to let Dongfang Xiaocui marry Feng Tianlin. Under such circumstances, Feng Tianlin had no choice but to make a difficult decision, which was to marry Dongfang Xiaocui. The dean understood Feng Tianlin's situation. He knew that with her identity, it was impossible for her to officially marry into the Feng family, but she could still be a concubine. After all, the cultivation world maintained the ancient customs. Having multiple wives was normal, but she didn't expect Dongfang Xiaocui to be a jealous person. She brought people to assassinate her and Su Shihan. When he thought of all these things, he felt as if it was just yesterday. When he saw Feng Sanhuang, the old dean finally recognized his identity, but he was a little puzzled. "How did you manage to recognize me?" She felt strange. "Sanhuang, how did you recognize me? You and Xiaohan shouldn't know me?" "Mistress, take a look at your current appearance." Feng Sanhuang was slightly taken aback as he finally understood why the old dean would ask such a question. He had also recognized the old dean as Feng Tianlin's lover from the changes in her appearance. After listening to Feng Sanhuang's words, the old dean was also slightly stunned. He turned his head to look at the mirror in the room and was immediately stunned. Wasn't this how she looked when she was young? No wonder Su Shihan and Feng Sanhuang recognized him. She looked too much like Su Shihan right now. OL Amos couldn't help but sigh inwardly. It looked like he had no choice but to admit it. Since she couldn't hide it anymore, all the yearning she'd hidden in the deepest part of her heart rushed out. She hugged Su Shihan and cried, "Shihan, my child." Su Shihan heard the dean admit it herself. She burst into tears as well, hugging the dean and crying together. Lin Yi, Xiaoka, Cheng Yi, and Sanhuang all stood on the side, not saying a word. This was too much of a shock. The dean was Su Shihan's mother. When Su Shihan and the dean were done crying, the dean sighed and smiled helplessly. "Xiaohan, you really shouldn't have come here. You've exposed your identity. And my identity will be exposed as well. You don't know how jealous that woman from House Dongfang is. She can't wait to get rid of us. We aren't her match." Dongfang Xiaocui? Su Shihan paused for a second and guessed what was going on. So it was Dongfang Xiaocui that caused her to be separated from her mother, and they also beat her mother up. "You know her?" The dean was surprised. He didn't think that Su Shihan would know about this. But, after thinking about it, he understood. "Tianlin raised you, right? Tianlin should have told you about this, right? It seems like Dongfang Xiaocui hasn't killed you yet." "No." Su Shihan shook her head. "I've always known about Dad's business. Sanhuang Bro was sent by Dad to protect me, and I grew up under Dad's protection. But I only found out about this recently, because Dongfang Xiaocui made a move on me." "What? She made a move on you?" The dean was shocked. "After all these years, she still doesn't want to let us go? Sai, what should we do?" At this point, the dean seemed to have made an important decision. "Lin Yi, Xiaoka will be under your protection from now onwards. I'm going back. I'm going to find Dongfang Xiaocui. As long as I'm dead, the orphanage will be safe. Xiaohan, on the other hand, is under Tianlin's protection. She shouldn't be in much danger. Since nothing happened after all these years, I think Dongfang Xiaocui's target is just me." The dean understood. She wanted to use her death to exchange for Su Shihan and the orphanage's safety. Why? Su Shihan paused. "With Lin Yi protecting us, we don't have to be afraid." Chapter 32:17. So she continued, "Let's not talk about that. Under Dongfang Xiaocui's big brother, Dongfang Jinxing, are 4 powerful elders. They're called the 4 Great Warriors. They're Dongfang Jian, Dongfang Hard, Dongfang Cha, and Dongfang Song. They're all heaven class, we're not their opponents." Pfft. Sanhuang couldn't recognize Dongfang Yinxing and the 4 Great Warriors, and he started laughing. It must be said that the Dongfang clan was really unlucky. These ruthless people were all dead. This was their retribution for what they did to the mistress and Su Shihan. San Huang, what are you laughing at? The dean frowned. She hadn't been by Feng Tianlin's side for many years, but she was still his lover. San Huang called her the mistress, and he dared to laugh at her? The dean was angry. San Huang, you don't know how strong these people are, do you? Mom. Shihan knew that Feng San Huang wasn't laughing at the dean, he was laughing at the Dongfang family's bad luck, so she quickly explained, San Huang bro isn't laughing at you, he's laughing at the Dongfang family. Laughing at the Dongfang family? The dean paused, then frowned. San Huang, what do you mean? Mom. The people you just mentioned are all dead. Shihan quickly explained. Dead? What dead? Han, you said the Dongfang family died? The dean's eyes widened, looking at Shihan in disbelief. How could they die? She didn't have any source of information, but she could still find out about the Dongfang family from time to time. The Dongfang family was like the sun in the sky, how could they die? Dongfang Yinxing, Dongfang Jian, Dongfang Hard, Dongfang Cha, Dongfang Song, they all came to kill me, but Lin Yi killed them. Shihan thought about it now and found it unbelievable. Any one of these people was a nightmare for her and her mom, but Lin Yi killed them like he was slaughtering chickens. He killed one, two came, and Dongfang Xiaocui had to beg Lin Yi for mercy through Feng Shishan. The Dongfang clan had also disappeared without a trace. There was no movement at all. Lin Yi. You're in the Tao of Heaven now? The dean was stunned. Dongfang Yinxing was a peak late-stage heaven rank expert, a top-notch expert in the cultivation world. How strong was Lin Yi to kill him? How strong was Lin Yi? Wouldn't that mean that he was an elite in the Tao of Heaven? No. Lin Yi smiled bitterly and said, Brother Feng, you should say it. Feng Sanhuang nodded and told the dean about how Lin Yi was able to fight above his level, and how Dongfang Xiaocui sent people to assassinate Su Shihan. The more Amos listened, the more excited he became. She didn't expect that every member of the Dongfang family would die one after another. In the end, not only did they not even dare to fart, Dongfang Xiaocui even pleaded with Lin Yi through her son. She felt that she could finally hold her head high. Truly, there was always a higher mountain. In front of him, these ruthless people who swaggered around were nothing in front of Lin Yi. Did that mean that her and Su Shihan's crisis was resolved? She let out a long sigh of relief. Finally, everything was fine. The dark clouds parted to reveal the clear sky. He could finally appear with his previous identity. Lin Yi. Thank you, you're not only the orphanage's benefactor, but also our family's benefactor. Thank you. The dean looked at Lin Yi and said sincerely. All right, let's not talk about this. Whether it's because of you Xiaoka or Su Shihan, I can't just ignore you. Lin Yi waved his hand and said nonchalantly, now, I'll help you recover your strength. Okay. The dean nodded quickly, then what do I do now? Just use the chant you've been practicing, leave the rest to me. Lin Yi said. Now? Okay. The dean responded and started to use the chant she'd been practicing. Then, she felt a continuous stream of pure qi from the place where Lin Yi was holding her pulse, entering her meridians. The dean was shocked, but she didn't dare to say anything. She quickly continued to use the chant, and soon, she realized that her strength had reached the peak of the late phase of the golden class. Because the dean was an earth class before, there wasn't any barrier between levels. As long as she had enough pure qi, she could naturally level up. Thus, it was much easier for her to break through from the peak of the late phase to the early phase of the mystic class compared to other practitioners. In front of Su Shihan, Cheng Yi, and Feng Sanhuang, Lin Yi didn't even try to hide the dean's strength. But Yu Xiaoka's eyes flashed with doubt. It was the first time she knew that Lin Yi could help others level up, but for some reason, Yu Xiaoka recalled the time in the tomb. At that time, the male thief seemed to have the ability to help others level up. At the very least, the strength of the female thief and the follower seemed to have suddenly increased in the tomb. But Yu Xiaoke wasn't too sure, and so the thought flashed through her mind. Feng Sanhuang, on the other hand, had some understanding of Lin Yi. Lin Yi leveled up quickly, and Lin Yi's lackeys leveled up quickly as well. But Feng Sanhuang wasn't someone that Lin Yi was familiar with, so he didn't ask much. Now, it seemed that Lin Yi's lackey's strength was most likely increased by Lin Yi. Feng Sanhuang was a little envious at the thought. Lin Yi could actually increase people's strength? How many superpowers did Lin Yi have? Cheng Yi's eyes flashed with shock. She knew about practitioners and how difficult it was for them to level up, but now, it seemed like it wasn't a problem for Lin Yi at all. Soon, the Dean's strength rose from the Golden class all the way to the Earth class. It even exceeded her original strength, the early phase of the Earth class. She suddenly realized that her strength had exceeded the early phase of the Earth class, and only stopped when she reached the late phase peak. Chapter 32:18. Really? I really leveled up. I'm an Earth class late phase peak master. Although the Dean had long felt that her strength had increased to Earth class late phase peak, she still felt like she was in a dream after hearing Lin Yi's words. What she was experiencing right now had overturned her decades of knowledge. Even in the ancient sects, there shouldn't be someone like Lin Yi, right? Not only could he repair damaged meridians, but he could also help others increase their strength. Of course, that didn't count. Just the fact that Lin Yi could instantly kill a sky-class late-phase peak master was something that other practitioners could only dream of. The Dean couldn't help but sigh at the thought. Her disciple and daughter were really lucky to meet such a magical master. If it wasn't for Lin Yi, the orphanage would have been destroyed by Zhao Qibing, right? Xiaoke would have had to take up the dangerous profession of tomb raiding, and she might have already died in the tomb's traps. Her daughter, Su Shihan, would have been killed by House Dongfang a long time ago. But with Lin Yi here, everything was different. Lin Yi was like her savior, saving her daughter and disciple. They were the two most important people to the Dean. Master, you're really an Earth-class late-phase peak master now. Xiaoke was a little envious. Xiaoke, didn't your brother say that he was going to give you an ancestral art? Don't worry. Lin Yi looked at Xiaoke and smiled. Did he give it to you? Yes. He's hiding House Yu, but it's not good for him to resign directly, so he's looking for an opportunity. Xiaoke said. House Yu. Lin Yi was afraid of them before, but now, House Yu was nothing in his eyes. With his true strength, it would be easy to destroy House Yu, but House Yu was related to Heavenly Elixir sect, so Lin Yi didn't want to make things too tense. After all, Silkworm transformation had helped him many times, and Lin Yi really didn't know if Silkworm transformation was on his side or an enemy. Thank you. The old Dean said sincerely, I thought that I wouldn't be able to live for more than 2 years. Unexpectedly, not only have I recovered from my injuries, but my strength has also increased. It's nothing. Lin Yi waved his hand and said, "Oh, President, you and Xiaohan have just reunited, so you must have a lot to talk about, right? How about this, you talk to Xiaohan first, I'll take Xiaoku to buy some clothes." Alright, then you can bring Xiaoku along. The Dean nodded. She had a really good impression of Lin Yi, so she reminded Xiaoke, Xiaoke, don't always have that sad face, cheer up. Yes. Master. Xiaoke could ignore other people's words, but she still cared about the Dean's words. She nodded and said to Lin Yi, then. Let's go. This was what she had agreed to before, so she couldn't refuse now. Lin Yi glanced at Cheng Yi and asked, do you want to go with me, Yi? No matter how bad I am, I can't keep dragging this on. Xiaoke said these words with great decision. After all, she felt that what she was doing was very unfair to Lin Yi. After thinking about it, she decided to accept her fate. As for her love with the male thief, it could only continue in the next life. For the orphanage, for the dean, she could give up on herself. Chapter 32:19. You. Xiaoka finally made up her mind and said those words, but this guy didn't seem to care at all. Did he really not hear it, or was he just messing with her? Xiaoka, you need to pay attention to your image right now. Of course, I won't ask you to wear expensive clothes, just casual clothes will do. Lin Yi didn't ask what Xiaoka said and said to himself. Oh. Xiaoka really didn't have the courage to repeat what she said just now. She stomped her feet angrily. Since you can't hear me, then don't blame me. I'll just go like the male thief. If you want to be a sucker, then do as you please. Humph. Xiaoka finally found a reason to continue being naughty. Who told Lin Yi not to hear her? Lin Yi brought Xiaoka to the business district. They didn't go to those expensive shopping malls, but to the night market. The clothes here were quite good, but the price wasn't too expensive. Lin Yi brought Xiaoka to a stall and was about to choose clothes for her, but the stall owner looked at Lin Yi and said, "Bro, you're here again?" Lin Yi paused. Could this be a common sales tactic used by the vendors? He didn't mind it. After all, many hotels were like this. It was the first time, but the waiter said he was here again. It was also a marketing method. I say, bro, did you forget about me? The stall owner saw that Lin Yi didn't react and continued, did you forget? You bought a dress from me last year? Me? Lin Yi pointed at himself, stunned, I bought a dress from you? Yeah. Did you forget? You said we came together the first year, at old Zhang's place. You said you used to set up a stall at the night market on the south side of the bridge. The stall owner nodded firmly, you even told me that my sister-in-law is about to give birth. Boss. Did you get the wrong person? Lin Yi really couldn't remember if he had any dealings with the stall owner of the night market. Moreover, when did Lin Yi set up a stall on the south side of the bridge? How is this possible? The stall owner was bored out of his mind. Now that he had finally met an acquaintance, he wanted to chat a little to relieve his boredom. Hence, he persisted, did you forget that there was a pretty girl in a school uniform next to you? She said she was from the food street. A vendor on the food street? Lin Yi was even more baffled. Yeah, she's quite a pretty girl. I even asked around and found out that her name is Tang Yun. She's the prettiest girl in Songshan's first high school. Oh, you can't know her even if I told you. What I mean is, you still haven't remembered? The stall owner nagged. Tang Yun? Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat when he heard the name, and in his memory, it was as if something was pricked. Fragmented images appeared in his mind. It seemed like, he was indeed squatting in front of this stall, bargaining with this stall owner, and there really seemed to be a young girl standing beside him. But the impression was very vague, he couldn't remember what the young girl looked like, and he wasn't even sure if he was really bargaining or not. It was just a fragmented memory fragment, but it made Lin Yi's breathing quicken. I really came here? Did I really talk to this stall owner? But, why can't I remember? Also, Tang Yun was the prettiest girl in Songshan's first high school? I'm from Songshan's first high school. How? How can I not remember anyone called Tang Yun? Did part of my memory disappear, or did the stall owner really get the wrong person? Lin Yi started to feel uncertain as well. After all, those fragmented fragments that flashed in that instant could not represent anything. This was because, according to a survey, many people, in a strange place that they had never been to, would sometimes suddenly have the idea that they had been here before. It was as if they had seen it in a dream. Although he didn't know what caused this feeling of déjà vu, Lin Yi knew that this kind of situation existed. So, Lin Yi couldn't be sure at that moment. Yu Xiaoka didn't know the truth. She thought that the stall owner was trying to get more business. After all, she knew that Lin Yi didn't have a child. How could Lin Yi have a wife who was about to give birth? Lin Yi shook his head, stood up, and fell into deep thought. Memory loss. It seemed that sometimes, he would suddenly have a situation where something seemed to have happened but he couldn't remember it. It was when he woke up from the fire poison that Lin Yi had this feeling. Could it be the after effect of the fire poison? But, to be sure, Lin Yi still called Yushu. Shield bro, didn't you go to the orphanage? Why are you calling Shu? Shu's at home, talking to Han Jingjing. Yushu picked up the phone quickly. Although Lin Yi's enemies were temporarily in hiding, Yushu didn't go out to cause trouble like before. After Meng Yao left, she seemed to have matured a lot. Lin Yi rarely saw the playful and lively Shu anymore. Although the way she addressed him and the tone didn't change, Lin Yi could feel that Shu had changed. Now? Okay. The dean replied and started channeling her practitioner's arts. After that, she felt a continuous flow of pure qi from Lin Yi's hand to her pulse. Right, Shu, can I ask you something? Songshan First School Beauty. Is there someone called Tang Yun? Lin Yi asked. Yushu was shocked, but she didn't show it on her face. Isn't the school beauty of Songshan First School me and Yao Yao sis? What Tang Yun? Oh, I don't remember her. Lin Yi calmed down after hearing Yushu's words. The stall owner must have gotten the wrong person, or was he trying to get close to Lin Yi so he didn't say anything more. He picked 2 clothes for Xiaoke and left the stall after paying. The stall owner could tell that Lin Yi wasn't interested in talking to him. Could it be that he got the wrong person? Otherwise, why would Lin Yi not know anything? Chapter 32:20. Otherwise, even if Lin Yi wanted to buy it, she would ask Lin Yi to give her the money and buy it herself at the night market, earning some money from Lin Yi to subsidize the orphanage. Lin Yi saw Xiaoke's lack of interest. She probably came out with him because she had no other choice, right? First, there was someone to buy clothes for her, and second, the dean's health had recovered. Xiaoke was very grateful to him, so she did this. With that thought, Lin Yi didn't want Xiaoke to be unhappy, so he smiled. Xiaoke, I have something to do. Here's 1,000 kuai, you can walk around here by yourself, I'll leave first. Oh. Okay. Xiaoke didn't think that Lin Yi would say that, but she still happily took the 1,000 kuai from Lin Yi. She only needed 200 to 300 kuai to buy her own clothes, and the remaining 700 to 800 could subsidize the orphanage. Of course she was happy. Plus, walking with Lin Yi was a bit awkward, and she didn't know what to say. Now that Lin Yi left, she let out a breath of relief. She didn't think that Lin Yi would leave so quickly, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Xiaoke shook her head and started walking around the night market aimlessly. In fact, Xiaoke rarely shopped before, and even if she did, it was to find a target to steal from. She never thought about buying anything herself. It was her first time shopping purely for herself. Beauty, are you alone? Do you need someone to accompany you? Xiaoke was walking around aimlessly when a voice entered her ears. Her heart skipped a beat, but there wasn't the disgust of being teased. Instead, there was an inexplicable surprise. Xiaoke turned around quickly. Male thief, it's you? Why are you here? Lin Yi had already put on the 1,000 silk mask, and his current appearance was the real appearance he had when he first met Xiaoke. I went to do something, but I suddenly saw you, so I came to say hi and see if you need someone to accompany you, Lin Yi said. All right. Xiaoke nodded shyly and happily, but her heart sank after nodding. She just told Lin Yi that she was going to be Lin Yi's mistress, and it wouldn't be good if something happened between her and the male thief. She might have thought that she was a pregnant girl, and that she'd always scammed Lin Yi out of his money, but she was still a trustworthy person. Since she'd promised Lin Yi, it didn't matter if he'd heard her or not, or if he'd agreed to it or not. Even though she really wanted to go shopping with the male thief, she had to tell him the truth. By the way, male thief, I have something to tell you. What is it? Lin Yi paused, confused by Xiaoka's serious expression. I've told you before, right? There's a person called Lin Yi who's sponsoring our orphanage, and he seems to be interested in me. Xiaoka hesitated. Oh. What's wrong? Lin Yi was even more puzzled. Why would Xiaoka bring this up? I promised him that I would be his mistress. Although he didn't hear me clearly, I did tell him. Plus, he cured the dean's illness, and he's been helping me and the orphanage non-stop. I can't lie to him anymore, so this is the only way to repay him. Xiaoka sighed, a little embarrassed. I'm sorry, male thief, we aren't fated to be together. In the next life, I'll be able to truly belong to myself, and I'll be with you again. Lin Yi was a little shocked. He didn't think that Xiaoka would consider so much. Plus, Xiaoka's words made him feel a little apologetic. At first, he wanted to keep it a secret, and then he decided to play along with it. Now, he couldn't explain the truth. He didn't know how to tell Xiaoka that he was the male thief, and he could only sigh. Lin Yi. Should I talk to him? It's no use. My brother seems to be on his side, and I owe him so much. I don't believe that there's such a good thing in this world, that I don't need anything in return. So, I don't think there's any point in talking to him. Xiaoka said helplessly. How would you know if you haven't talked to him? Lin Yi smiled bitterly. He didn't think that Xiaoka had such a deep prejudice against him. Chapter 32:21. Of course, Lin Yi was a factor in this, but he didn't need to worry too much. Lin Yi was in Donghai City, not Songshan City, and Lin Yi was Su Shihan's bodyguard, not the dean's. Even if Lin Yi attended the dean's funeral, he wouldn't be able to keep an eye on Feng Tianlin and Feng Shipian all the time. At that time, he just needed to find a chance to kill Feng Tianlin and Feng Shipian. However, it couldn't be the Feng family's people, and it definitely couldn't be Feng Tianhu's people, so he had to find someone else to do it. Other than the Bloodcloth Underworld sect, an ancient assassination organization, Feng Tianhu actually had a candidate in mind. Although he wasn't assassinating Lin Yi this time, but the dean, Feng Tianlin, and Feng Shipian, he had already offended the Bloodcloth Underworld sect. He didn't think that the Bloodcloth Underworld sect would help him anymore, and it would be terrible if the news leaked out. Therefore, this time, Feng Tianhu made up his mind and contacted the most despicable organization in the ancient sects, the Black Horse Society. The Black Horse Society's predecessor was actually a gang, but this gang had developed to this day and moved behind the scenes. Of course, this sect also did some killing and robbing in the mortal world, but it was more secretive. Most of them worked as guards for rich families. For example, Uncle Yen from Zhou Ruoming's family was a member of the Black Horse Society. Because the people sent by the Black Horse Society were very low level, most of them were yellow class and mystic class, it didn't attract the dissatisfaction of other ancient sections. Of course, they occasionally did some revenge business, such as helping an ancient sect fight, helping to teach someone a lesson, and so on. Anyway, such a gray sect didn't attract the jealousy of others. After all, it was an organization with the nature of a gang, similar to the Bloodcloth Underworld sect. Sometimes, people could find them to do things that they couldn't do, but when it was free, people didn't want to get involved with them. Feng Tianhu naturally thought of the Black Horse Society. The Black Horse Association's requirements were very high. If the Black Horse Association were to act, not only would they have to pay a large sum of money, but they would also have to promise the Black Horse Association one thing. If the Black Horse Association had any requests in the future, the employer would have to agree. Of course, this matter would not be particularly difficult. It was within the employer's ability, but it might not be easy to do it. It could be done or not, but since the Black Horse Association requested it, it must be done. This kind of favor was actually the hardest to repay. Therefore, if he could solve it himself, he would solve it himself. If he couldn't, he would look for the blood-clothed Yellow Spring sect. If the blood-clothed Yellow Spring sect couldn't solve it, he would look for the Dark Horse Association. The Black Horse Gang relied on this relationship to eat faster in the ancient world. Many people owed them favors, so they wouldn't openly express their dissatisfaction with the Black Horse Gang. Therefore, the Black Horse Gang sent experts to the secular world to act as guards to earn money. Everyone turned a blind eye to this. This time, Feng Tianhu really didn't have anyone else, so he could only look for the Black Horse Society. Another advantage of the Black Horse Society was that they would never betray their employer, so Feng Tianhu didn't have to worry about being betrayed. Of course, unless he couldn't pay or refused the Black Horse Society's request one day, this matter would only be exposed by the Black Horse Society. There was also a precedent for this, so Feng Tianhu hesitated again and again before he made up his mind. "Hello, is this the third brother of the Black Horse Society, Brother Dian?" Feng Tianhu found a business card of the Black Horse Society. This was the business card he received at the summit of the ancient sects and families. "I am. Are you Feng Tianhu from the ancient Feng family?" Brother Dian was the third leader of the Black Horse Society and was also in charge of external communications. Every time he exchanged contact information with others, he would save the other party's contact information. Therefore, when Feng Tianhu called, Brother Dian knew Feng Tianhu's identity. It's me. Brother Dian still remembers me." Feng Tianhu was surprised and happy. Naturally, he didn't know Brother Dian's habits and thought that he was a big shot. "Brother Dian, this time, I have something to ask the Black Horse Society for. You know the conditions, right? Other than the reward, you have to agree to one condition regardless of whether it's successful or not." Brother Dian said, "Of course, we will evaluate the manpower and the reward based on the difficulty of the task you mentioned. We don't want it to fail. After all, failure will affect our reputation. It's good that you know." Brother Dian continued, "Tell me, what's the matter?" "Help me kill a few people, a total of 3, Feng Tianhu said. "Who?" Brother Dian wasn't surprised at all. After all, he was in the business of killing and robbing. One is the old dean of the Songshan orphanage. The other 2 are my second brother Feng Tianlin and nephew Feng Shipian, Feng Tianhu said. "The old dean of the orphanage? We don't make a move on ordinary people, but the other 2 can." Brother Dian said directly, "Making a move on ordinary people is too troublesome. Although we don't avoid it, Songshan is a very troublesome place. It's very close to Donghai City. You should know about Lin Yi. We don't want to mess with that person." The Black Horse Society was also very well informed. Donghai City and Songshan City were both Lin Yi's strongholds. Wouldn't it be troublesome if they made a move on an ordinary person? Therefore, they tried not to get involved in this kind of thing. "The old dean of the orphanage is my second brother Feng Tianlin's lover. He's an Earth-class late-phase peak master. He's not an ordinary person." Feng Tianhu said, "This is also what I want to remind you. Try not to clash with Lin Yi. After you kill the old dean, hide and wait for my second brother and nephew to take care of the aftermath before you deal with them. I'm telling the truth here. If you insist on going against Lin Yi, don't blame me. This mission is too risky." Brother Dian didn't know that the old dean was Su Shihan's mother. He didn't connect Su Shihan with the old dean, but just Donghai City and Songshan City were enough for him to not accept this mission. This is a series of missions. If the old dean doesn't die, Feng Tianlin and Feng Shipian won't be able to leave our ancient Feng family. You guys won't be able to kill them. Feng Tianhu said, "And after they die, I'll be the heir of the ancient Feng family. Wouldn't it be even more powerful if I promise you one thing?" The promise of an ancient family's patriarch and the promise of an ordinary member naturally cannot be mentioned in the same breath. The things that the 2 can accomplish are also different. Chapter 32-22. If Feng Tianhu could really become the head of the Feng family, then the Black Horse Gang would look for him to do big things in the future. However, Feng Tianhu was not the head of the family, so he could only do ordinary things. This was the value of this mission. How about it? Anyway, I've already explained the pros and cons. If you agree, then do it as soon as possible. If not, then pretend I didn't say anything. Feng Tianhu said. I'll discuss it with the other two leaders, then I'll call you back. Brother Dian said after hesitating for a moment. Okay, I'll wait for your news. Feng Tianhu quickly said. No matter what, there was a chance. The Black Horse Gang was actually full of desperados. Although this mission was risky, the rewards were obvious. Not to mention the high commission, Feng Tianhu's promise after becoming the head of the family was also very important. Therefore, after evaluating the difficulty of the mission, Brother Dian called Feng Tianhu back. Brother Dian. Feng Tianhu picked up the phone and asked respectfully, how is it? Is there any news? Mr. Feng Tianhu, our leader has agreed to this mission, but I have to talk to you about the commission. Brother Dian said. Please speak. Feng Tianhu was surprised and happy when he heard that the Black Horse Gang had agreed. That's because it's Lin Yi's territory. In order to ensure the safety of our people, we've sent a Sky-class late-phase peak full-circle master. He's one of the Grand Elders of our Black Horse Gang, so the price is a bit higher. Lightning Bro said. Good, good, good. Feng Tianhu was originally afraid that the Black Horse Gang would send a few small fries. If they encountered Lin Yi, they wouldn't be Lin Yi's opponent. Now, it was great. A peak late-stage heaven stage master was sent out. This was in existence like an atomic bomb. As for the price, it was worth it. So he quickly said, what's the price? Tell me. 10 billion. And a promise. Brother Dian said. Pfft. Cough cough cough. Feng Tianhu was shocked. Brother Dian, are you kidding? Do I look like someone with 10 billion? Although I have some savings, it's only about 2 billion. Among the ancient sects, the Fengs weren't considered rich. Even with Feng Tianhu's side business, they had only accumulated around 2 billion. 10 billion? Wasn't that a joke? You don't, but the Feng family does. Brother Dian said indifferently. The Feng family. What I say doesn't count. Besides, our Feng family doesn't have that much money. Most of my money is my own extra income. I supported a few spokespeople outside, some are businessmen, some are celebrities, and some are guards. They helped me earn money, but I only managed to save 2 billion. Feng Tianhu explained with a bitter smile. Then how much money does the Feng family have? Brother Dian frowned. He didn't expect the Feng family to be so poor. However, this 10 billion was also an exorbitant price, waiting to be bargained. I think it's about 3 billion in cash. Feng Tianhu didn't dare to hide it. After all, what he knew, others could also find out. 2 billion plus 3 billion, that's a total of 5 billion. Alright, you can give us 2 billion first, and then give us the 3 billion after you become the head of the family. Is that okay? Brother Dian asked. Although 5 billion was a bit too much, Brother Dian felt that it was worth it. After all, sending a supreme elder to kill 3 people was as easy as lifting a finger. Although it was a bit dangerous to step into Lin Yi's territory, as long as they were careful, there wouldn't be any problems. All right. Feng Tianhu gritted his teeth and agreed. After all, when he became the head of the family, he would change the Feng family's current strategy and send more people to earn money. At that time, he would also fill in the gap. All right, send me the information on the old dean. Our supreme elder will leave today and take action tomorrow. Brother Dian said. Feng Tianhu didn't expect the other party to be so efficient. He was a bit surprised, but to him, this was the best thing. He quickly sent the information to the mailbox designated by Brother Dian and waited for the good news. Lin Yi and Yu Xiaoka strolled around the night market for a while before going back. Lin Yi saw that Yu Xiaoka seemed to have no interest today. She seemed to have a lot on her mind, and his heart felt heavy. After all, it was his fault. But how should he tell her? If he told her that Lin Yi was the male thief, would she be unable to accept it? After sending Yu Xiaoka back to the orphanage as the male thief, Lin Yi changed back to his original identity and returned to the orphanage. Su Shihan and the dean had already finished catching up, and she was rehearsing with Cheng Yi in the gymnasium. Lin Yi went to take a look, but he couldn't help much. Yu Xiaoka obviously didn't want to talk to him either, so Lin Yi found a room and started training. He had been stuck at the early phase of Sky class for a while now, but there were no signs of a breakthrough. Lin Yi couldn't help but sigh. After Sky class, every step was really difficult, especially without Wang Xinyan's help. Lin Yi's training speed had dropped to the lowest point. At night, Lin Yi and the others stayed at the orphanage. There was no need for Lin Yi to bring Su Shihan and Cheng Yi back and forth between the two cities. There wasn't enough time anyway. It was a quiet night, and the next day, at 10 in the morning, the charity event officially began. Although the last charity event was organized by the school, and it wasn't that far from this one, it was still in Donghai. This time, it was Songshan, so there were many rich people who came to support the event. On the surface, it looked like it was the influence of a celebrity, but in reality, it was all Peng Zhan's doing. Peng Zhan was the chairman of the province's business association, and a supporter of House Han. His influence in the province was unparalleled, and who dared to ignore House Han when doing business in the province? As a result, most of the businessmen who came this time were here because of Peng Zhan, and also because of Han Xiaopa. Of course, with their level, they didn't know that Lin Yi was the real boss behind the scenes. Han Xiaopa was only Lin Yi's follower, while Lin Yi was someone who could shake the ancient world with a stomp of his foot. The fundraiser was a huge success. After the fundraiser, it was time for Su Shihan and Cheng Yi's charity concert. All the money from the concert would be used for the construction of the orphanage. Fans could also donate to a designated account through online banking. You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.